what we're already doing for guns and makes it a similar process for ammunition.
Newsom says it should be a source of pride for California to be the first to enact such a law. Gernal Scott, Fox News.
Parts of the Mississippi River have now been above flood stage for more than 200 days. One advocacy group for river communities now estimating the cost of repair and cleanup at more than $2 billion. And that's just for the Mississippi River corridor. A snowy winter and wet spring also flooding other river areas from the Midwest to the Southern Plains. I'm Lisa Brady. This is Fox News.
The Guy Benson.
Regardless of your age, your eye health may be at significant risk from diabetes, cataracts, glaucoma, and retina problems. A comprehensive eye health exam is key to maintaining your precious gift of sight. Contact Island Eye Specialists to schedule an appointment today. That's 637-2020 or online at islandeyeguam.com. We accept Stay Well, Take Care, Calvo Select Care, and Net Care Health Insurance. Island Eye Specialists, we are your eye doctor.
GPSI Guam is a professional services company that is a registered contractor for the federal government. They're an SBA, 8A, and Hub Zone certified SDVOSB, providing program/project management, administration, technical support, logistics, and commodities. Find out more about GPSI and how they can help you today. For large prime companies, contact GPSI if you need assistance in meeting your small business subcontracting goals at 477-3058. They'll be happy to assist.
Business travel just got easier. Take your data plan with you for only $10 a day to all 17 Data to Go destinations. Never worry about additional data roaming charges when you go where your business needs you. The US, China, Thailand, and so much more. Have the assurance you need to check emails, surf the web, and stay connected. Call 688-2677 today to make sure your account is Data to Go ready. Docomo Pacific. Better together.
In illness and in wellness, Calvo's Select Care is health care that is there for you. That's why over 80% of the Guam medical community places their trust and insures with us. We offer our members wellness and fitness programs for a healthier lifestyle and provide a comprehensive medical network on and off island to help members from unexpected illnesses. Contact Calvo's Select Care today for more information.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. News time here at The Point is 7 minutes past 6 a.m. this Wednesday morning. I'm Kevin Kerrigan. Here's a look now at some of the top stories from the Guam Daily Post. Governor Lou Leon Guerrero spent 3 hours yesterday afternoon and into the evening listening and responding to the concerns raised by a room full of activists opposed to the military buildup who urged her to seek a full stop to the ongoing construction of the firing range complex on Northwest Field at Anderson Air Force Base. The governor, however, did not endorse their call for a full stop. She said she has only asked for a pause in construction around the 9 sites where artifacts have recently been found and around a rare tree. She sent a letter to Joint Region Commander Rear Admiral Shoshana Chatfield yesterday seeking that pause around those 9 or 10 areas. On Friday, however, Joint Region issued a statement saying they had already paused construction activity around all of those areas as required by the programmatic agreement. The governor said she supports the military buildup, not for economic reasons, but for security reasons. She said, "I really fear for the security of our people." She cited the threats posed by North Korea and China. The governor said she doesn't believe the economic and job creation narrative behind the buildup is all that great. She accused off-island companies of being carpetbaggers, saying they're taking advantage of military contracts. The firing range complex is a $78 million military construction project that was awarded to Black Construction, a local contractor based in Tamuning. In response to a request for comment from the Guam Daily Post, Joint Region Commander Rear Admiral Chatfield issued the following statement yesterday. She said, "The Navy takes its role to protect and preserve our natural and cultural resources very seriously." She said she and her staff are in close communication with Guam's elected officials. She said it is her strong desire to maintain a productive dialogue about the planning and accomplishments that inform and ensure the defense of Guam and the nation. We are committed to improving the understanding of our compliance obligations as responsible stewards of the island's environment and culture, said Admiral Chatfield. We'll have more news after this.
Travel the world and then some with the 2 million United Miles sweepstakes from First Hawaiian Bank. Enter and you could win the grand prize of 1 million miles or be one of 6 other lucky winners. The world is big. Our prize is bigger. Enter at fhb.com/2 million miles. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited. Sweepstake starts on May 1st and ends June 30th, 2019. Open to legal residents of Guam and CNMI. Ages 18 years or older. Visit 2millionmiles.com for official rules. First Hawaiian Bank. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
Here at APL, our core values give the company its heart and soul. Whether it's connecting your business with our global network through our newly enhanced service or investing our efforts into giving back to the community, APL is committed to serving you. We humbly honor the opportunity to find innovative solutions for you and your business. To learn more about our enhanced service, call 588-4651 or visit www.apl.com/Guam for more details.
11 minutes past 6 a.m. here at The Point. GovGuam ended the 2018 budget year with a $10 million deficit, a reversal of its financial standings from a year before when the local government posted a $32.7 million surplus. GovGuam collected $688 million in general fund revenue during the 2018 fiscal year. That was $21 million less than the year before, a 3% decline. The audit covered the last full budget year under the previous administration of Governor Eddie Calvo. Following the Trump tax cuts, GovGuam implemented a 1 percentage point increase in the business privilege tax, which rose from 4% to 5% last year. That increase contributed $36 million in local taxes to GovGuam, but that didn't fully offset the adverse impact of the Trump tax cuts, according to the audit report. Magistrate Judge Joaquin Manabusan has concluded that the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Service has not complied with the District Court of Guam's order prohibiting the agency from denying H-2B visas for temporary foreign workers. He has recommended to Chief Judge Francis Tadenko Gatewood that she impose sanctions on the federal agency. In his report to Chief Judge Manabusan writes that the Immigration Service has failed to meaningfully appreciate the ramifications of Judge Gatewood's earlier injunction, which required USCIS to stop its blanket denial of H-2B visa applications from Guam employers. The lawsuit was filed by the Guam Contractors Association and other island businesses. Guam Contractors Association President James Martinez told the Guam Daily Post yesterday that Manabusan's report is a step in the right direction. GovGuam is not a party to the lawsuit, but Guam Department of Labor Alien Labor Certification Chief Greg Massey said, "It seems like this is a good development for the contractors' efforts to hold USCIS accountable." He said the Department of Labor is interested to see how the Chief Judge rules on Judge Manabusan's recommendation as the case moves forward. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post. Ray and Mike now take a look at our weather.
Well, let's see what I got here. Partly cloudy skies and some isolated showers are in today's forecast. We winds out of the east here, 10 to 15 miles an hour. No surprise there. And decreasing 5 to 15 miles an hour after sunset. Highs near 90 overnight. Lows should be about 79 degrees. We'll watch the sunset tonight at 6:51. Sunrise tomorrow morning should be about 5:56 or so. I'm just going to refresh the satellite image and then throw it to Mike so Mike can tell you what the radar image is looking.
Yeah,
like.
we had a nice little round of showers come on through in the past half hour or so, and they're in the process of moving on off of the western shores. They're up around, well, that's up around, I guess, Two Lovers Point. Looks like that's where it's popping out
at. It's at Pam's house, because Pam took a picture that I can't show on the screen right now,
okay.
but she said she got that picture in just before the rains came falling down.
Yeah, I took one similarly right out here in the parking lot of the clouds, just as they were approaching. As you can see, not a a whole lot back behind it, but you might see a shower or two as we go on through the day today. Rolling on over to satellite real quick, we can see that blobbage down to our south. That's 95W Invest. It actually looks like it's getting its act together just a little bit, and it may be doing so, but it's not going to cause us much of a problem. The National Weather Service has been backing down on rain chances for us as a result of this system for the past several days. And again, in the forecast, they said, yeah, well, the models aren't really showing a whole lot of stuff for us. So maybe an uptick in showers over the next couple of days, maybe not, but in any case, it's going to be hot and a little breezy with that typical trade wind stuff.
I'm not saying it's developing, but as it begins to form that circulation there, isn't it going to pull weather into it? Won't it feel like it's sucking some more low pressure into it and over Guam?
In one of those situations, we go back to where we're in the squeeze play or the pressure gradient, because we have high pressure to the north, and this is developing low to the south. Our winds may pick up a little bit, and the moisture may increase just a bit as well. But again, it's going to be pulling everything down there to it and away from us, and that's why they say, not much of a chance really for any rainfall for us or any significant rain. Plus, it's actually a small system. It's not really very big. There's not a lot of moisture for it to work with, even in its own realm down there. So not really much expected from it. So,
gotcha. Gotcha. If you're looking for the locator on where exactly it rained the hardest, buddy of mine says might have been around Wistig Road area. 6:15 in the morning, and that's news and weather together, brought to you by Bank Pacific. Where others put branches, they place roots.
We have some really great home loan programs, but did you know we have great business loans too? Every day we're working with companies to purchase equipment, to buy or build properties, or make tenant improvements. We offer letters of credit, working capital, and term loans, and we make all of our credit decisions here. Commercial loans, commercial banking from Bank Pacific.
Bank Pacific, where others put branches, we place roots.
Equal housing lender, member FDIC. Viva Bank Pacific.
6:15 in the morning, the best starters, lunch, and dinners priced to please on a brand new Ruby Tuesdays favorites menu. Dips and wings, burgers and tacos, steaks and salmon with toppers, and more. Available for a limited time at Ruby Tuesdays Guam. Portions of the Ray Gibson Show also brought to you by American President Lines. APL is shipping the future. Guys over at Micronesia Renewable Energy say there's never been a better time to go solar, especially now that they have got these incredible battery systems for the house. 632-2613 if you'd like a free consultation there. And, of course, the fellows over at Cars Plus, Joey, Jen, and Dunge, still waiting for you to come in and do a test drive on your Dodge Charger or your Challenger GT. Find that and plenty more to satisfy your cravings for wheels at Cars Plus in Mighty.
The Ray Gibson Show. Morning talk that matters. Call now, 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
Okay, I'm ready. Welcome to the program. Excuse the best. It is the Ray Gibson Show on 93.3 The Point. My name is Ray. Thrilled to be here with you as usual. Wednesday morning, the day I don't call hump day, and if I've got to tell you the entire story on that, I probably will get around to that in a little bit. But let me first start off the show as I like to with around the horn of all the guys that I share the opportunity and the obligations with. That would be Michael Knight, our weather whisperer, the guy Duke Sky talker, as it were, when looking at what's happening with the weather and the cosmos and all of that kind of thing. You can reach him at 888-8255. 888-TALK is the telephone number around here, and he'd be happy to talk to you about all of that stuff. And now a programming note. We probably get this out of the way now. I'm not working on the 4th of July. You guys can come in if you want to, but I'm not going to be here on the 4th of July.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm just Kevin. That's the memo. Is it no radio show on the 4th of July?
Why? What day is that?
It's Independence Day. It's a holiday around here, right?
Holiday.
It's
What's
a
that?
holiday. We get to do. Well, okay. So here you don't have to come to work. I don't know if they still want you to go to work over at the Daily Post. Your mileage may vary, but you don't need to come into this place. If you want to, you can. we get the coffee maker over there and the cold water.
No,
That's all right.
Thanks for the invite.
You make the offer.
So
What's
you're
that?
saying we get to celebrate the independence of our oppressor while we ourselves stay oppressed?
Exactly. Whichever. Yeah. Are we going to get into that? Are we going to really? Do we have to? Shall we start
I
now?
feel like
with
carrying the flag this morning.
Which one do you want to carry? Pick one here. Governor supports the buildup, but not because of any economic opportunities that the buildup may bring to the island of Guam, because China and North Korea, the Norks, might come and get us. And as far as the economic benefit is concerned, well, only people that are making any money on this are carpetbaggers. Right? That's apparently what she said. I'll give you the full statement from today's copy of the Guam Daily Post in a couple of minutes. It's one of those just kind of laugh out loud, right? Anyway, so more on that in a little bit. So I got Michael Knight's over there, Kevin Kerrigan is over here, and you are wherever you are. 988-5874. If you're looking at something that is just gorgeous on the eyes that you'd want to share with the listeners, 988-5874. If you got a picture of cops tasing guys or videos of some kind of a heist in a grocery store, those are fun for us to watch as well. Just a note is that the note here is, if you send it to me, you're also sending it to Kevin from the Guam Daily Post. So it's just acknowledge that if it's your image, your video, you're sending it to me, you're a concerned viewer, a citizen journalist, you're also sharing it with the guys over at the Guam Daily Post. You don't have to send anything to them. I'll go ahead and take care of it and make sure the interesting stuff gets folded over to where they are. Now, the original thought that I had when I launched into Programming Note, there are actually two of them. One of them is that after Thursday, Michael Knight is not going to be the guy that you call at 888-825-888-TALK.
Well, for a couple of days.
Oh, yeah, I know.
That sounds real permanent.
Well, no,
you got plans about that I don't know about?
Somewhere between here and the 4th of July, no. But you're going to be scampering off for some time off.
Yes, I'm going to be Philippining. So yeah, I'm going to be over there.
I left some for you.
Wow, nice.
I did. I didn't take all of the Philippines out of the Philippines. I did not pasalubong everything.
You left some Red Horse for me.
There's still some Red Horse
Nice,
and plenty of San Miguel Light for you, and garlic rice.
Hey, see, but what more do you need?
Can I just what a great invention that was. I don't know who the original guy that did garlic rice was, but I remember the very first time I was up in Saipan, and I wasn't a kid. I was up in Saipan, and a buddy of mine, Joe, says, "Hey, let's go eat breakfast over at Shirley's, because they got Shirley's down in Middle Road." And I said, "Great idea, let's go." And so we get to the Shirley's out there, and he says, "What kind of rice do you want?" And it's breakfast, so I was thinking, they don't serve red rice for bread. What are you talking about? He says, "No, you want regular rice or garlic rice." Really? And it's not that I have it every day.
Yeah.
But if you're in the Philippines and you've got a choice, nobody does garlic rice obviously better than them right there in the city.
Yeah, it's tasty and delicious, and it keeps vampires away.
Absolutely. 988-5874. You want to send me shots of your. Now, there's another issue. We woke up this morning and we noticed that there were some dropouts on our signal here. And near as I can tell, it might have to do with a little network link thing that will need some kind of a nudge somewhere.
Oh, so it's not a squirrel.
No, I don't think it's
caller.
We got guys there, and they're up and they're working on it, and we should be able to get this resolved in a jiffy, if you will. And if it's not, then I'll go up to the transmitter site myself and knock something with a hammer. Anyway, 622, very important cast of characters here in the studio, but even more important, my friends on Facebook.
Sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. Troubles are all the same. You want to be where everybody knows your name.
All right, rounding out the top 10, you can tell Ismail is back 2 days in a row. #1 spot, followed by John Ray, Anita Muffness with the Valentine's Eyes. There's Al Bautista, Tony and Annette and Pinko Ada. Pam Duvall is up there. Landon Nadler in the top 10. So is John Barcinas St. Nicholas. Tetchur Niratag is #9, and Tim Lahan. Great picture, Tim, of you on a motorcycle. I saw that. That was very, very cool. Not exactly sure what that motorcycle-y thing was about. Was some kind of ad for something? But anyway, so Tim's out there. Speaking of motorcycles, it remind me, I want to get to this. I got a note yesterday in the Facebook Messenger. I never sleep. I lay down for a nap, and then I hear this ding, ding, ding. thing, and it's usually people messaging me about stuff they want me to follow up on. But anyway, so it was a friend that messaged me and inquired, wanted to know if I knew anything about a change in the way they are doing the parade. And Legion, legend, and the tradition, the Liberation Day parade for I want to say about the last 10 or 15 years has been started with like the Guam Hogs, all the motorcycle clubs. They start the parade. They're way out there, way in the back at the head of the thing, and you can tell, you can feel that the parade is starting because you've got literally dozens and dozens, maybe hundreds of motorcycles, deep-throated Harley motorcycles for the most part, coming down the street, and it's noisy, and there's a whole bunch of people wearing their leathers and black Levi's and all of that stuff, and there's this cacophony that comes down the street, and that is how we herald the beginning of the Liberation Parade. And according to this person, there might have been a change to that where they're not going to let the motorcycle guys kick things off. They're not going to let the car clubs kick things off. Now, I don't have this independently verified, but I got the message, and if I got the message, somebody else, that means there might be something to it. So I'm going to check it out. We'll go see what we can find here this morning. Tim says it's a Nanbo insurance ad. They advertise with us. It's a bundle up, save 50% or something like that on all your insurance for 2019. Anyway, 6:25 in the morning. Where was I? I was supposed to be saying hello to people, right? So we got Tim's there. Tessie Pareda is online. Tedo and up at the ranch. Nick Perlowski, Cheryl Ochai is hanging out with us. Eric McKinnon has got he found tree emojis. Those are, I think, regular palm coconut trees there, buddy. Not the terribly endangered. Oh, it's not endangered. We got 18 more. Seedlings? Oh, wait, and hundreds up in Rhoda? Okay, I got you. Rico Blancaflor is online saying good morning to all of us. Simon Sanchez, half a day. Chris from Big Abetta. Mark Mendiola is hanging out. Tommy Martinez Aguero saying, hoy, from Port Orchard, Washington. I never got to hang out too much at Port Orchard, but I must say that Port Orchard is certainly one of the prettiest places that you are going to find up in the great Pacific Northwest. So stick around there unless you're going to be coming home sometime soon. Jose Martinez, and there's Vivian Cunningham online. I see Flo Cruz, Yoich Rengil, Lady D is on, Greg Karabrock is on, and I saw Greg Karabrock's name there, and it distracted me. I'll tell you why. Yesterday, I played a story from the States, right? It was a story of Minnesota somewhere of a World War II veteran that wants to come to Guam. He was invited, of course, by the Visitors Bureau and the people behind the Liberation festivities, and they said, we'd love for you to come to Guam. And, but you have to pay your own way. Hey, Mr. 94-year-old World War II liberator, member of the greatest generation, if you can scratch together about $7,000, we'd sure love to have you come to Guam. We'll get you some plate of fiesta food from over at the Chamorro Village. What do you say? Is it a deal? It is a deal. Anyway, so short story long. I played it. There is a link on the Facebook Live, and I've also put the link up on my Facebook page to a GoFundMe campaign that has started. Now, yesterday when I first got to it, I think there was like $650 worth of donations that had been made for this guy to come out. He needs $7,000, and I'm delighted to tell you that there are 41 people in the last 11 days that have raised so far $3,610. So he's a little bit over halfway. He's a little bit over halfway to Guam, and I think it would be absolutely terrific if the rest of that $3,500 or so came from folks around here. Now I started by saying Greg Karabrock. When I saw that name, it distracted me because I looked at the donations on the GoFundMe page yesterday, and among them is a guy named Greg Karabrock. And Katie Baltazar is somebody that made one as well. Guam Gal has made a contribution, and I'm going to take a look at this and see if I can find some more folks with names that I recognize around here. Yeah, there's Kate Baltazar Dodge, made a donation. Greg and Janet Karabrock. It's kind of hard to tell because I don't know everybody's name on Guam. I don't know all of you, but there's a whole bunch of, probably a couple of other people that likewise made a donation. So I want to say thanks very much. Let me see if I can get a link on this so that I can share it with everybody else on Facebook Live that's listening this morning. Where was I? I'd stopped over at, see, I saw Greg's name and got distracted again. There's Smug Wimp is there. Isaac in Greensboro, North Carolina is hanging out with us as well. Xavier Atalig, Eric Mendel, and John Brennan. Buenos, Zen Hoffaday, Kevin, and the island of Guam. And who else is playing around? Richard Leon, Ismail. He says, I see it now. Gibson at the transmitter with a wrench, a la Armageddon. Russian components, American components, all made in Taiwan. Galen, it's not that far off. Is Galen Cruz is there, and so is Rudy Magallanes, and Mark Cruz is waving at it. Everybody, Doris Mendiola, Rita Camacho, Hugo, etc., etc., etc. Ken LG, little sister Mata Silva. Mata is online, and I see her name, and it reminds me that today is Mia Silva's birthday. That is my niece. And she is today celebrating Sweet 16, I believe. And so, yeah, there's going to be a little bit of get-together. Uncle Ray and your cousin Mayumi say happy birthday on you. Lillian Cruz is there. All the way in Washington, D.C., Keith Parsky, Charla Montville Cohen, Charlene Marchessault is there. Yoich Ringil, Cody James, one of my favorite air traffic controllers, and plenty more as the program continues. I'll see if I can take a look at the thing and see if there's other names that I want to mention. Ray Cruz is there as well. Anyway, a lot of stuff that is in front of me right now, a lot of stuff that's going to distract me all morning. I'm going to reset my deskage area here and come back on the other side of Headline News with Kevin Kerrigan with one of the most important things that you're going to hear this week. It is National Mosquito Control Awareness Week. But first, headlines from the Guam Daily Post. Here's Kevin Kerrigan.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. In the headlines from the Guam Daily Post this morning, Republican Senator James Moylan does not support Senator Joe San Augustine's recent proposal to tax online purchases. The senator says Bill 166-35 would continue the recent trend of increasing taxes and fees. In a news release yesterday, Moylan said an online tax would, in theory, level the playing field for local businesses that already pay retail taxes, but he said tax increases should be removed from the table now until GovGuam displays fiscal responsibility in its spending habits. 38-year-old Keck Ludwig wants to be released from prison on probation while he's awaiting trial. He's accused of attacking another man who was barbecuing outside of his Tamuning home last month. He appeared for a bail hearing yesterday before Superior Court Judge Arthur Barcenas. In May, according to the magistrate complaint, Ludwig jumped out of a pickup truck, threatened a man with a fishing spear, threw several beer bottles at him before being pulled back into the pickup, which sped away. However, the pickup then returned. Ludwig and some other men jumped back out. Ludwig then started to threaten the man with nunchucks. Another man then threw the fishing spear at the victim, which struck the victim's arm. Ludwig is alleged to have chased the man towards the Oka Payless, stopping only after the victim took the spear out of his arm and threw it back at Ludwig. That, according to the complaint. Probation officers told the court they continue to interview potential third-party custodians who would be responsible for Ludwig if he is granted release. Governor's office either plans to hire 150 employees or group 150 existing employees to focus on the military buildup. The release from Speaker Tina Munoz-Barnes' office is not clear on that question. Speaker wrote to Governor Lou Leon Guerrero yesterday asking for a meeting to talk about the various GovGuam agency roles and understanding the impacts associated with the buildup, as well as identifying the gaps that should be addressed. Barnes' office stated it was the governor's buildup advisor, Carlotta Leon Guerrero, who shared the information with senators about the need for 150, which Adelup confirmed. It's unclear, however, if the governor's office wants to hire 150 more employees or if they want to bring together existing employees. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post.
I got you. 6:33 in the morning, and that is iConnect time. Give them a ring, 888-8888, and ask them about incredible plans to save you money on internet and wireless plans.
When it comes to power and performance, nothing compares to Dodge. And right now at Cars Plus in Mighty, you can save thousands on many Dodge vehicles in stock during our Dodge Performance Days. Like a new 2019 Grand Caravan SE, save $4,250, or save $6,150 on a new Durango SXT. Looking for more power? Take home a new Charger SXT Plus today for only $37,689, or save over $7,000 on a new Challenger GT. Get more power and performance at Cars Plus in Mighty during Dodge Performance Days. Cars Plus, driven by you.
6:33 in the morning, and we'll go eat over at Wendy's because they have really, really good chicken sandwich. They got a special made to crave menu. You know, we got the regular made to crave menu with burgers. Well, they've got the same thing over at Wendy's with chicken. I'll get the information for you in just a little bit. But if you're thinking about breakfast, that's where to go.
When your family needs medical care, how often do you find the need to visit multiple clinics? When a child has a serious ailment, do you find yourself meeting a medical provider only to learn you must go somewhere else for testing? At the FHP Health Center, you can find multiple specialties and testing services under one roof. And if your family needs urgent care, FHP is there for you with convenient weekday, evening, and weekend hours. Voted the island's best clinic and Pika's best 2 years in a row. FHP, our island, your clinic. Learn more at fhpguam.com.
It's too early for any traffic. It's Wednesday. Nobody wants to get up and get going to work or drop the kids off over at the summertime place and all of that. You got to get moving, though. I mean, that's nothing's going to happen until you hit the road. And it should not hit you back. Looking at virtually no traffic southbound up in Chico into the Dededo area. You might actually see more traffic northbound heading in that direction. Same thing working through most of the rest of the spot here. Looks like it's a little bit busy over by the Kmart intersection as you're making your way down into Tumon. If you're going that way, might also see a little bit of traffic coming out of Route 10 Alpha onto Marine Corps Drive northbound, headed in the opposite direction across from John F. Kennedy. Otherwise, looking clear all the way into the downtown Agetnia area on Marine Corps Drive. Route 4 looking clear. Route 8 is looking really, really smooth right now. Don't see too much happening on Route 10. Starting to busy up over at the intersection of 10 and 15 as everybody's making their way up to the Utilities campus. Traffic starting a little bit early in front of Navy Hospital, and I'm looking all the way down to Navy and Sumai, and that is running clear for you this morning. 6:35 traffic gizmo right now. Traffic on the point.
Hey, welcome to this Subway ad for the new club collection. How do you want it?
I'll take a book club.
Absolutely.
So, last week we sunk our teeth into Subway's meaty new release, the Steak Club.
I didn't finish it yet.
Oh, not again, Sandra. This week, it's the new Southwest Chicken Club, also by Subway. No spoilers, but there's a tasty twist.
Jalapeno cheddar bread and guacamole?
Sandra, get out. Subway, make it what you want.
Good ending.
Limited time only at participating restaurants.
Bringing you closer to the action. Any speaker, anytime. Watch and listen live on thepoint.gu.
At 6:36 in the morning, and program note, we're having a dropout issue here. So there might be some times where I'm talking and it just stops on the radio. We got guys working on that right now. 6:36 in the morning, 888-825-5888-TALK is the phone number around here. So we'll work on some stuff in between here. And there are lots to talk about as usual here. There's no shortage. Because, you know, full-time legislature and all of that. Never any shortage of stuff to yak about here. The front page of the Guam Daily Post says, Governor supports buildup due to China and North Korea risk, according to Kevin Kerrigan, the folks over at the Post. Multiple hours spent with her and a room full of activists and folks that want to see everything go full stop. And she said, nah, I don't think I can back that up here. I do support the military buildup, she says. I don't support it for the economic reasons. I support it for the national security reasons. Then all of a sudden there were no's and concerned faces, and I'm sure undertones, boo, as she said that, articulating their reasons for opposing military buildup activity. I suppose when I go to these military briefings, I can see the possible outside invasion to us. And why is that? A geographic position where the military sees us as a place where we are the first line of defense. LG said she did not believe the economics and job creation narrative behind the buildup was all that great, characterizing the off-island companies that take advantage of military contracts as carpetbaggers. And so does that include Black Construction, big local firm down the street? You know,
they're the ones building the firing range.
They're the ones that are doing the firing range, and as we mentioned yesterday, just a whole platoon of people that work there on that project that are from here, born and raised, and all of that. So I don't know about the carpetbagger narrative, and the question that popped into my head is, I wonder how many of these companies now that are out here doing business, build-up related or otherwise, how they might feel about being called and referred to as carpetbaggers, A, and B, wonder how many of them have accounts over at the Bank of Guam. Might be going, oh, really? Is that how you feel about us and our participation in the Guam economy? I don't know about that. Maybe go find another bank that'd be more happy to take my accounts. You know, my carpetbagging dollars and cents here that I use to pay people here locally in the economy so that they can go spread it around at your other customers. Don't know about that. They come in and try to get the contracts, and they do benefit. Not so much with us. We see this. They don't register their business with us. We don't collect the taxes because we don't know. It sounds like an internal problem, doesn't it? They don't register their businesses here, and we're not able to collect their taxes? Really? I imagine that there might be some businesses that have business licenses from elsewhere, from other places. I don't know, but it was an interesting comment, and frankly, it's interesting because I hadn't heard it in a long time. When we first started talking about the military buildup, when it was first a big deal, and with concerns expressed exactly like that, was that the little companies around here, the little parochial, just mom and pop businesses on Guam wouldn't be able to effectively compete against all of these just gigantic companies, construction firms and legal firms and architectural firms and suppliers to the federal. We wouldn't be able to compete with them, and so there was a concern that there was going to be this onslaught of carpetbaggers. Well, as it turns out, and I want to say that the original JIGPO guys, I thought, did a pretty good job of putting together all kinds of business networking opportunities so that you could get a lot of mom and pop hub zone businesses here on Guam lined up to work with these gigantic companies from the States. And I'm sure as you're listening to this, you might know one or two of them. You might know one or two of these companies that have lined up with businesses here on Guam in order to get things like that done. And in the opposite case, businesses here on Guam that got so good at it, Dave Alcorn's Kings, et cetera, the Global Food Services, GFS, and groups like that, outfits like that got to be so good golly, who am I thinking of? Monty McDowell and his outfit that are now doing business across the Pacific and in the United States of America. Because they have gotten so good at dealing with federal acquisition regulations and can compete effectively against them. So I don't know. You know, I hear about the carpetbagger thing, and I think that narrative was overblown back then. And if we're going to start referring to businesses that have come to Guam, hey, how about that? They're risking their capital here as carpetbaggers. I think that's a little bit unfair. Good morning, Clay. How you doing?
Hey, Ray. Hey, good morning. You know, here's a typical example on the low end of the scale of doing business in Guam. If you're in the business of renting real estate to a military personnel, the housing office will not process your lease and approve the military tenant unless you have a business license produced first.
Huh.
You cannot even get it processed through housing. You have to have a business license. So in my wildest imagination, on the other end of the scale, it seems inconceivable that anybody doing business on this island in the build-up would not have a business license, and if they don't, there's tons of ways to figure that out. You have to have a federal ID number. If you import stuff, you're going to have to pay a use tax. You need a federal ID number. You'll have to, you have to show proof that you're licensed if you're going to be doing business in Guam. And I know this subject came up 10 years ago when they were struggling with the same, gee, how are we going to verify? Okay, you take 4 people, and 4 people could canvass this entire island, the Guam Contractors Association. It'd be very easy to determine who's doing contracting business on this island and whether you have a license or not. And all of the businesses like Black and Cortec and everybody else that is competing, they want to make sure they're competing, on a level playing field because, hey, if I got to pay the 4% GRT, I want to make sure that all the other guys are, factoring that into their bid equation.
Right.
So it's, my wildest imagination, and the whole carpetbagger thing, I just, it would be very simple if they believe that's happening, and there may be the occasional contracting business that slips through the cracks, but it's not rocket science to figure it out, and
who these guys are. Yeah,
to make them comply.
it's this line that they don't register their business with us. We don't collect the taxes because we don't know. And I'm going, and even if it was, that's an enforcement issue with the government of Guam and the Department of Revenue and Taxation.
Yeah, and it doesn't take a lot of employees to figure it out. I mean, I could do it in probably a week. I could figure out whoever, every single contractor that is doing business. I mean, it's, you go to Fed Biz Ops, Guam Contractors Association posts regularly the notices of award, so you know who's getting the business, and you simply double check. Okay, do they have a business license?
Sure.
No. Hey guys, you got to have a business license. You have to pay your 4% GRT.
Daphne Shimizu will go to your office right now, and we'll fill it out and put together the mechanism. This is how you pay. You can do it online if you want to.
There is the economic side, and there's the strategic side too. I mean, why do you think Japan invaded Guam? Strategic position. If the United States wasn't here, do you not think that China would be kind of like, sitting at our doorstep going, hey, we kind of like Guam?
Yeah. Well, here's what's going to happen is they're going to listen. They're going to go, well, of course he's going to say that. It's Clayton Duval. I said, Duval, that's a carpetbagger name going back to the Civil War. And Gibson, didn't he come here as a great-grandfather was a Marine? It's the original carpetbaggers from 1898.
Well, I pay my taxes, and I do what the government requires of me to do because I'm a responsible citizen, and it's my obligation. If I'm doing business here, then I should pay my taxes. And anyway, it'll be a pretty simple thing to figure out, and I know the brain power is there at the administration to do this. So,
I don't know. I just found it to be divisive. It's already a divisive topic, and I think it gets more divisive when we start talking about the impacts, the economic buildup, the military buildup, and the economic impact that it's going to have on Guam. Saying it's not necessarily going to be good for the people of Guam, and the majority of the people that are in it are carpetbaggers that don't pay their taxes.
Well, there's certainly enough tax base that I'm sure they could find some money to, if necessary, relocate, the endangered, species and plants and whatnot to a protected area.
The federal government's already been doing that. They've been, while some of these people at the legislature were still in high school, the federal government had already been taking steps and identified it as the last tree standing up there and taken steps to make sure that it could continue to propagate here. This was 1998. This is not a tree that they just discovered. And have just decided that we're going to lash ourselves to that. To that tree and cause the military buildup to stop.
Yeah, the federal government's under the thumb to make sure they're following, and I believe they are following environmental protocols. So this is a lot of A lot of rhetoric for I'm not sure what.
Well, you know what I was even pondering yesterday, because I think it's such a silly topic. I was even pondering yesterday the idea of just completely ignoring it. And you go ahead, you can have your conversations in your little echo chamber at the administration and over at the legislature, while the rest of us figure out how we're going to arm ourselves against the rising wave of crime that we've got around here, and protect ourselves from the druggies.
Certainly a lot more important
right?
things to be considering, yeah.
So,
although my daughter is crusading for the ban on balloons and stuff, and I applaud her for her crusade, I also believe that getting all of the machete-wielding people and,
rapists off the street.
And keep them off the street, Anyway,
what are you getting me at home? What are you getting me at Home Depot today?
Oh, you just name it. I'm sitting here looking at a bunch of salt. You need some salt?
Do not need salt. I think, you know what? I bought myself one of those the rotating hammer drills. And yeah, I probably should have spent about $100 more on it, and gotten the bigger one, because I'm having a hard time chipping away at some concrete. But otherwise, I'm good. They need to make a spray. You know, if you're tired of concrete, you just put a spray on it, and it will dissolve. And then you just scoop it up and throw it away.
Well, I'm sure somebody's got that, but not at Home Depot.
No, it's some carpetbagging business. All right, buddy, I got to run. I'll talk to you soon.
Have a good day.
You know, I will. 10 away from the top of the hour. 888-825-5888-TALK. Of course, as I said, there's toying in my head about just ignoring it. Just this whole conversation that is taking place about something that probably isn't going to happen, and concerns about mitigation that have already taken place. And I'm thinking, maybe just if I ignore it for a couple of days, they'll come up with something else. They'll come up with, I don't know, some rules and regulations, maybe some legislation that actually means something to somebody around here. We'll finally get some of those promises that were made during the campaign season actually delivered on. Wouldn't that be something? Wouldn't you like to see something like that? I would. But in the meantime, this came into my email basket, and I thought I've got to make reference to it, because this is a real thing, and this will have an impact on somebody's life here. It is National Mosquito Control Awareness Week. Did you know? No, of course you don't know, because we're busy flapping our gums about a tree and the artifacts and the construction. But in the meantime, somewhere is water that is pooling, and inside those little pools of water are little mosquito larvae, and they're going to come out, and these are vector bugs. I mean, they come and suck blood out of Michael Knight, and then they come and land on me, and then I'll get Michael Knight blood suckage, in the transfer, and that just can't be safe. That just can't be safe.
No, it's not.
Not good. What disease were they talking about? Is it like Western Nile virus or?
Yeah, West Nile virus. I mean, but I mean, we
don't have it here.
No, but they carry it, and of course, dengue. Naturally,
we get mosquitoes that are floating around over at the legislature, biting people down there, and then they come and bite me, and then I get stupid too.
You talking about the senators?
So here's what we do. The week of June 23rd to the 29th has been declared National Mosquito Control Awareness Week by the American Mosquito Control Association. There's an association for everything. Have you ever noticed that? They have one for everything. The American Mosquito Control Association. And their job is to get these mosquitoes, and you fly straight. Stop flying crooked. Make better noises. Yeah? Anyway. DPHSS also went on this. So they want you to follow the 4 Ds. First D is for drain. Empty out water containers at least once per week. The second D is for dress. Wear long sleeves, long pants, light-colored, loose-fitting clothing when you are outdoors.
Do they realize we live in the tropics?
I needed to underscore that. Thank you very much. Long sleeves, long pants when you are outdoors. I'm okay with the light-colored stuff, because it's summer. Yeah. It's summer.
Fabulous.
Yes, like your shirt yesterday. It was nice. Loose-fitting clothing. Also loose-fitting clothing, yes. And like a you know what? A caftan.
Nice, yeah.
You remember when there was a time where 20 minutes in the 1970s where men wearing caftans was a fashionable thing.
Yeah.
Thank God that didn't stick around very long. Although every once in a while, I ponder the idea of it would be nice to just kind of stroll around the neighborhood in my kaftan.
I'll just go with my kilt, lad.
Long sleeves, long pants. Ignore the fact that it's 95 degrees now. Defend. Properly apply an EPA-registered and approved repellent such as DEET, picaridin, IR 3535, or oil of lemon eucalyptus.
Wait. I thought DEET kills you.
Maybe you're thinking of Flit, the bug spray from the 60s.
Yeah.
Flit.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
So it's
I inhaled
DEET.
quite a bit of that.
And Dusk and Dawn.
Yeah.
Which is one of my favorite movies. Got Cheech Marin in it, and George Clooney is in the show, and they go in the nightclub with the vampires, and really some great scenes there. Dusk, and if possible, consider staying indoors early in the morning and evening when mosquitoes are most active. Hey, but for some people, yeah, I might be making a joke about this. No, I totally am making a joke about it. Let there be no mistake. But I will say this: there are some people who really have problems with mosquitoes. I mean, they just seem to attract them, right? So I go out on the weekend of doing fast hiking and stuff with my friends, and before too much longer, you got people that are starting to, they got to spray themselves, they got to put some kind of armband on. I'm lucky. I consider myself lucky. I don't generally notice mosquitoes, and even when they bite me, it's not really that much of an issue. But as I said, I know some people that will move their house because there might be a mosquito problem. So first D here is the drain. Now I will tell you out of experience where you might be able to find some of these. Anywhere where there are a bunch of tires. A bunch of tires, because it rains, and then the inside of the tire gets wet, and there's nobody out there doing anything about it because it's in the jungle or whatever, and so that is an excellent breeding ground for the bugs. There's a place over by Telefofo Falls, down in Malolo, right? You go down Telefofo side and follow the signs where it says falls, and then there's a trail that goes around the back, so you can get to the falls, right? And they've got instead of rails, they've got stands of tires, and there must be hundreds of tires that they're using kind of as a guardrail around this trail. And as you might imagine, there are no drain holes in any of them, so they fill up with water, and it is mosquito heaven down in that part. Don't believe me? Go take a look at it. Somebody over at DPHSS, don't believe me? Get in the car, get in the car. Let's drive to Telefofo today and see what's going on. See if Gibson is on the money on that one. Anyway, 6:55.
Another well thought out park project.
Yes, but it's a private company that runs that place.
Still, are they dumb?
Yeah.
I mean, water gathers in tires and then causes mosquitoes.
Yeah, so you shake the tire a little bit, and then all of a sudden here it comes. It's a cloud of mosquitoes that come out of the thing. Yeah. So it's somebody needs to go and take a look at that. 888-8255-888-TALK. Jennifer Heinley King is online. I see John Torres. Matt Herman, the Smug Wimp says, I have no issues with mosquitoes because they always go for my wife. Same thing. I don't have a problem with mosquitoes because they're going for your wife, but I'm getting itchy just talking about it.
I keep hearing a buzzing in my...
I'm sorry, it's itchy here. Abandoned tire sites, holding water, got to control that. Who else is playing around on the phone here? Joanna Renee is online. Ismail says, DEET is a nerve agent.
Can you imagine just how badly I could mess with people by just playing a random mosquito sound on here every now and then? They'd be like, what? Especially if they're in quadraphonic.
There is a version of an online app that I did for a radio station. It wasn't that long ago. It was a version of an online app I did, and it actually had a button on it, a mosquito repellent button in the app. And I asked, I thought it was a joke. So I asked the code writer what that was all about, and he said, "You press this button, you can't hear it. You won't be able to hear it, but if you press this button, your phone, in addition to the music that's playing on the app, it will send out a tone, a sound that will keep bugs and in particular mosquitoes away." And I thought, well, that might be the most useful thing. Of course, I thought at the time, might have been the music that was coming out of the app that might have been, the Cardi B stuff keeping the bugs away. 888-825-5888-TALK. Good morning, Tom.
Good morning, sir.
Afalei.
Why isn't our government hiring people to pick up those tires in the jungles? Because we are paying a disposal fee to the companies that sell us brand new tires. And the businesses that sell us brand new tires, they collect those disposal fee from us, and they're supposed to turn it into the government. The government's supposed to establish an account so they can use that account money to pay people to go out and pick up those disposed tires. That's what we're paying those disposal fees for every time we buy new tires.
I don't believe, you're correct. But I don't believe that there are any rules, regulations that have been propagated on how they are effectively supposed to do that. I don't think, it's that whole recycling revolving fund. That is, I don't know, it's a slushy fund that the government has. I don't believe that there are any rules and regulations on how that is actually supposed to be accomplished in place. I don't think that falls under solid waste. I think it falls under like EPA or something. I'll see what I can find out. I don't disagree. But one of the other problems that we have, and if you go Route 3 or up and down Marine Corps Drive to, past Dedido, but not quite to Jigo, you see a lot of these tire guys on the side of the roads. Yeah, they're not licensed by anybody. Nobody is overseeing what they do. So all you got to do is find tires from somewhere, and maybe you don't want the tire place to change it because you don't want to pay the $15. So you take it to the guy in the village. He'll do it for $10, but he doesn't dispose of the tire any better than the litter bugs do. But most of the time, they just leave their junk and nomad to somewhere else.
Okay, buddy.
Big problem.
For us and find out what's happening with those disposal fees.
I'll see what we can do. Thanks, Tom.
All right, thank you, buddy.
Talk to you later. 888-8255. DEET, simply a common name for the bug spray. An effect here, DEET does not actually kill mosquitoes. It just deters and repels them. But it doesn't say anything here about nerve agent. Should I look for something that says nerve agent? I'm going to Google that right now. It's 7 o'clock in the morning. The radio station KUSG. Got you. Ray Gibson Show continues with Kevin Kerrigan on the other side of Fox News right now.
A new twist in the immigration debate. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. The acting Border Protection Chief is resigning.
John Sanders had been acting as head of the U.S. Customs and Border Protection since its commissioner, Kevin McAleenan, was tapped to take over as acting Homeland Security Secretary in April. Sanders' resignation takes effect July 5th, but in an email to CBP employees did not explain the reasons for his departure.
Fox's John Decker at the White House, this amid bipartisan calls for humanitarian aid at the southern border.
There is no soap. There is no diapers. Above all else, there is no human decency.
New York Congressman Hakeem Jeffries chairs the House Democratic Caucus. President Trump urging Congress to act.
I'm very concerned. And they're much better than they were under President Obama, by far. And we're trying to get the Democrats to agree to really give us some humanitarian aid, humanitarian money.
But Democrats blame Trump administration policies for conditions at the border, and some aren't satisfied with the House bill pushing provisions the White House says the president won't support. A Senate version has bipartisan support. Meantime, just days before Congress takes a 4th of July break, time's also running out on a bill to continue help for 9/11 first responders.
The Senate Majority Leader agreed to meet with 9/11 first responders after criticism from activists like comedian Jon Stewart over delays in approving a long-term compensation fund for victims and responders of the terror attack.
As I've said repeatedly, we're certainly going to address this issue.
The 9/11 Victims Compensation Fund is facing depletion with payouts shrinking. It's set to expire next year. Supporters are pushing congressional leaders to approve permanent funding before that happens.
Fox's Jared Halpern on Capitol Hill. Just out of the meeting, members of the 9/11 first responders group tearfully telling reporters moments ago they will take Majority Leader McConnell at his word, that they're angry it's not done already. This is Fox News.
Let's see now. Fast, easy, affordable. That's the best way to describe my home loan at Bank Pacific. Fast, because we give quick decisions. Easy, because we've cut back on the paperwork. Affordable, because today's home loan rates are still so low. So see us today to refinance or consolidate, or to buy or build your new home and save yourself some money.
Bank Pacific, where others put branches, we place roots.
Equal housing lender, member FDIC. Viva Bank Pacific.
Hey, it's
it's Mom. Somebody forgot to thaw the chicken, so meet us at Chili's for 2 for $25. Oh, and congratulate your sister for making the basketball team. She's thrilled. Love you. See you at Chili's.
Enjoy 2 full meal combos for $25. An appetizer, 2 mouth-watering entrees like our crispy chicken breast, smoked barbecue quarter leg, or smoked jalapeno cheddar sausage. Served with corn on the cob and french fries. 2 bold combos for $25. A full-on meal deal available nightly for a limited time. Together, we Chili's.
The search continues for a University of Utah nursing student last seen more than a week ago. Fox's Gernal Scott has this live.
Lisa Mackenzie Lewick was last spotted a week ago yesterday when she left a Lyft driver's car at a Salt Lake City park and got into another car. Police are already looking at her cell phone records, but Assistant Police Chief Tim Doubt says this disappearance, according to her family, seems unusual.
We see no indication that she has gone off the grid before. This kind of behavior is uncharacteristic for her, according to them.
The Lyft driver has been cleared of suspicion. It was confirmed he picked up other passengers that morning. Police are also examining social media and bank records to trace any activity, Lisa.
Thanks, Gernal. The opportunity of the century. White House advisor Jared Kushner says that's a better way to describe the first part of the Trump administration plan for Mideast peace, an economic plan for Palestinians.
Agreeing on an economic pathway forward is a necessary precondition to resolving what is a previously unsolvable political situation.
Speaking at a conference in Bahrain to launch what Palestinian protesters deride as the deal of the century. This as the tensions with Iran continue. President Trump says he hopes Iran got the message from new sanctions on its leaders.
I'll tell you what the message is. When they're ready, they'll have to let us know. When they're ready, they'll let us know. Very simple. Ready to negotiate, you mean? Ready to do whatever. Doesn't make any difference. Whatever they want to do, I'm ready.
But President Trump also warning in a tweet earlier today that any attack by Iran on anything American would be met with overwhelming force. First Lady Melania Trump announcing that her press secretary, Stephanie Grisham, will be the president's new press secretary, replacing Sarah Sanders. On Wall Street, a sell-off today. The Dow dropped 179 points. I'm Lisa Brady. This is Fox News.
Regardless of your age, your eye health may be at significant risk from diabetes, cataracts, glaucoma, and retina problems. A comprehensive eye health exam is key to maintaining your precious gift of sight. Contact Island Eye Specialists to schedule an appointment today. That's 637-2020 or online at islandeyeguam.com. We accept Stay Well, Take Care, Calvo Select Care, and Net Care Health Insurance. Island Eye Specialists. We are your eye doctor.
In illness and in wellness, Calvo's Select Care is health care that is there for you. That's why over 80% of the Guam medical community places their trust and insures with us. We offer our members wellness and fitness programs for a healthier lifestyle and provide a comprehensive medical network on and off island to help members from unexpected illnesses. Contact Calvo's Select Care today for more information.
Let's go for a drive.
Let's take a stroll. Let's gallivant. Let's go cruising.
We all have different ways to describe how we get up and go in our cars. But whatever you may call it, you can do more of it when you save 6% off your fuel purchases at any Shell station when you use your eligible Bank of Guam Visa and MasterCard credit cards. So stop by any Guam or CNMI Shell station and start saving today. Visit bankofguam.com for more information. Terms and conditions apply. Bank of Guam, the People's Bank. Member FDIC.
Security Title is honored to join and sponsor Ray Gibson on The Point. Half a day. I'm Mark Benventi of Santa Rita, and this is where I start my day, listening to the voice of our community and sharing thoughts and issues that affect us all. It all boils down to our people, our land. Protei Igumamo. Protect your home. When purchasing or refinancing your home, remember to call the professionals at Security Title, just like you call Ray Gibson in the morning.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. News time here at The Point is 7 minutes past 7 a.m. this Wednesday morning. I'm Kevin Kerrigan. Here's a look now at some of the top stories from the Guam Daily Post. Governor Lou Leon Guerrero spent 3 hours yesterday afternoon and into the evening listening and responding to concerns raised by a room full of activists opposed to the military buildup who urged her to seek a full stop to the ongoing construction of the firing range complex on Northwest Field at Anderson Air Force Base. The governor, however, did not endorse their call for a full stop. She said she has only asked for a pause in construction around the 9 sites where artifacts have recently been found and around a rare tree. The governor said she sent a letter to Joint Region Commander Rear Admiral Shoshana Chatfield yesterday seeking a pause of construction in those areas. Friday, however, Joint Region issued a statement saying they had already paused construction activity around those areas as required by the programmatic agreement. Governor told the activists that she supports the military buildup, but not for economic reasons, for security reasons, she said. I really fear for the security of our people, said the governor, citing the threats posed by North Korea and China. The governor said she does not believe the economic and job creation narrative behind the buildup is all that great. She accused off-island companies of being carpetbaggers, accusing them of taking advantage of military contracts. The firing range complex is being built by Black Construction, a local contractor based in Tamuning that won the $78 million contract in 2017. In response to a request for comment on the growing controversy, Joint Region Commander Rear Admiral Shoshana Chatfield said, the Navy takes its role to protect and preserve our natural and cultural resources very seriously. She said she and her staff are in close communication with Guam's elected officials. She said it is her strong desire to maintain a productive dialogue around the planning and accomplishments that inform and ensure the defense of Guam and the nation. In related news, China deployed an aircraft carrier to an area in the Pacific near Guam earlier this month. According to Taiwanese press reports in the China Times and Liberty Times, the People's Liberation Army Navy's aircraft carrier, the Liaoning, for the first time navigated towards an area near Guam. The aircraft carrier was accompanied by a Chinese fleet that included a destroyer and a guided missile destroyer. We'll have more news after this.
Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959, and they'll continue to be there for you in the years to come. Whether you're looking to get a personal loan for that summer vacation or paying off those long overdue bills, Family Finance has got you covered. Apply for a personal loan from $1,000 up to $3,600 by calling Family Finance in Agutya at 475-4545, Upper Tumon at 647-5626, or in Dededo 633-4473. Family Finance, serving the people of Guam since 1959.
KFC has finally answered the world's most important question. What came first, the chicken or the egg? And the answer is both. Introducing KFC's KFC AM, their new Southern and local-inspired breakfast. AM-loaded platter with chicken fried rice, waffles, and Colonel's chicken congee. KFC also has your all-time favorites, AM chicken and egg wraps, Southern biscuit and sausage sandwich, and hash browns. So for finger-licking good mornings, AM will never be the same at KFC. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
News time here at The Point is 11 minutes past 7 a.m. Republican Senator James Moreland doesn't support Senator Joe San Augustine's recent proposal to tax online purchases. The senator says Bill 166-35 would continue the recent trend of increasing taxes and fees. In a release yesterday, Moreland said an online tax would, in theory, level the playing field for local businesses that pay retail taxes, but he said tax increases should not be considered until GovGuam starts displaying fiscal responsibility in its spending habits. 38-year-old Keck Ludwig wants to be released from prison on probation while he awaits trial. He appeared for a bail hearing yesterday before Superior Court Judge Arthur Barcenas. He's accused of attacking another man who was barbecuing outside of his Tamuning home last month. In May, according to the magistrate report, Ludwig jumped out of a pickup truck and threatened the man with a fishing spear. Ludwig threw several beer bottles at the man, according to the report. Then several others pulled him back into the pickup, which sped away. The pickup, however, then returned. Ludwig jumped back out and started threatening the man with nunchucks, states the report. Another man then threw the fishing spear at the victim, which struck the victim's arm. Ludwig chased after the man towards the Ocopeles, stopping only after the victim took the spear out of his arm and threw it back at Ludwig. That, according to the complaint. The probation officer told the court they continue to interview potential third-party custodians who would be responsible for Ludwig. For For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post.
Oh,
Ray and Mike now with some weather.
I'm sure they're looking forward to the opportunity to have Mr. Ludwig around the house, huh? Yeah. But there's something about the manliness here. It's either, we're talking about one real tough son of a gun that had one of these sling spears in him and pulled it out.
Yeah,
and was going to use it against this Ludwig guy. That in my mind is, that's some boss stuff, right?
Yeah, but
or was there alcohol involved? Because I'm pretty sure I could take a spear if there was, if I'd sufficiently boozed up.
Yeah, well, alcohol has been known to cause Bruce Lee syndrome, and apparently Ludwig had that.
Yeah.
Going after a dude with nunchucks.
Crazy. Partly cloudy skies today with isolated showers. Winds from the east up to about 15 miles an hour, decreasing 5 to 15 miles an hour after the sun sets. Highs near 90 degrees and overnight lows are around 79 degrees. Sunset tonight about 6:51. We got the sunrise tomorrow morning. Should be about 5:56. Let me see if I can get the weather radar up so Mike can give you an idea of what that says. Wait a second. Hold on. Ooh, that's ugly. Oh, there's the thing. Is it prettier now? Much prettier. There's satellite imagery. We wanted to get the radar, so there.
There we go. Got a few showers that have moved through. It looks like another weak line. That's just a little trade wind disturbance. It looks like it'll be sliding across here, I'd say late morning, mid to late morning. Not much there, though. There's just a very thin line of clouds. And so you'll find hit and miss showers right on through the morning and into the afternoon. Weather Service says you'll be lucky if you get any showers. Dry trade wind weather going to stick with us. If we go to satellite, we can see what's going on there. And
pointer's in the wrong place.
It really is, but it's close. There we go. So we got Blobridge down to the south. That's 95W Invest. That is a very weak tropical disturbance. It's going to keep sliding off to the northwest. It'll bypass us. Could bring some showers into the area, but the Weather Service says not going to be very many. So just keep looking for a continuation of this dry weather, and if we get some rain, you'll have to feel real lucky that you got some.
I got you. 7:14 in the morning. That's news and weather together. Brought to you by it's us, just me and you.
Business travel just got easier. Take your data plan with you for only $10 a day to all 17 Data-to-Go destinations. Never worry about additional data roaming charges when you go where your business needs you. The US, China, Thailand, and so much more. Have the assurance you need to check emails, surf the web, and stay connected. Call 688-2677 today to make sure your account is Data-to-Go ready. Docomo Pacific. Better together.
Portions of the program brought to you by my friends over at Ruby Tuesdays, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday between 4 and 6, and all day on Tuesday. Select draft beers, wines, sangrias, or Ruby Tuesdays Tipsy Palmer. Or how about the Ruby Relaxer? All $5 or less. $5 appetizers, too. Check us for happy hour tonight at Ruby Tuesdays Guam. Also brought to you by APL, American President Lines, is shipping the future. Guys over at Micronesia Renewable Energy say there's never been a better time to go solar because we've got batteries. Yeah. It's not like car batteries either. They come in and it's something like 1 million AAAs, right? And they just kind of line them up in series in the house. And then when GPA takes a dump, the batteries take over. You won't even notice. They'll give you a free consultation if you give them a ring. And Cars Plus, where they're still doing performance days and performance nights out there. Got a Challenger with your name on it, a Charger with your name on it. They got SUVs and minivans and that kind of thing as well up at Cars Plus in Mighty.
Rediscover Talk Radio here. Your FM News Talk Superstation. This is The Point.
Six o'clock, 7 o'clock in the morning. It is the Ray Gibson Show, 93.3. The Point. Michael Knight's over there. Kevin Kerrigan's over there doing the news, and Jerry Roberts has found his way into the building this morning. We're going to get to talk about businessy kind of stuff. Perfect timing, right? So we've got this story on the Guam Daily Post, and I'm sure the activists were all in tears last night as the governor said, "I support the military buildup on Guam for the strategic defense of the United States of America." And you might be thinking, well, wait a second, this might also be, I don't know, with all of the spend going on, maybe some an economic upside for the government of Guam, for the people of Guam, with all these businesses that are coming out here and federal acquisitions, and all of the things, all of just billions of dollars that are moving around here with this buildup. But Lilian Guerrero said she did not believe the economics and job creation narrative behind the buildup was all that great. Characterizing the off-island companies that take advantage of military contracts as carpetbaggers.
She called them carpetbaggers?
Carpetbaggers, right? Wonder how many of them have Bank of Guam passbooks, right? Really? That's what you think of us. They come in and try to get the contracts, and they do benefit. Not so much with us. We see this. They don't register their businesses with us. We don't collect the taxes because we don't know. But ask me, that's an enforcement problem, and if you don't know, that's your fault. You need to go find why these guys, like the Airbnbs that are floating around here that aren't registered as well. That's they're in the wrong, but you need to go and find them.
But the guys that have that are contracting with the military, they have no business licenses?
I have no idea where that comes from.
Well, the contractor for the firing range complex is Black Construction,
a
local construction firm.
Yeah, I'm
talking about carpetbaggers, right? They've only been here about 130 years or something like that.
They've got business license number 2 right behind
the
AK.
carpet they rode in on is called grass.
Yes, so that in my mind is one of those interesting things. I got my buddy Randy wrote in a little bit ago on not on Facebook Live, but on a separate channel. Direct message. He says, "I don't like that carpetbagger remark from this governor either. I've worked with a stateside contractor for 30 years on this island, and in those 30 years, we have paid millions in gross receipts taxes and have given local businesses a lot of business in those 30 years. This governor has a screw loose that needs tightening."
Okay,
well.
Give her a little bit of slack.
Can you imagine the pressure, though? I mean, just a room full of activists, and they're all doing trees and
I thought it was an excellent tap dance myself.
She will come out today, I'm sure, and clarify the carpetbagging comment.
Yes, a pirouette, if you will.
Yeah, but cut her some slack.
Really?
She's under pressure from different groups.
I don't know. Like I said, my great-grandfather came here in 1898. He was one of the original carpetbaggers at the end of the Spanish-American Wars. I don't know if I've got any room to talk here. 20 after the program, and there we go. Jerry Roberts in the studio trying to calm the waters around here.
I mean, I guess anybody who wasn't born here, I guess, is a carpetbagger. Right here.
Well, could be.
A bald carpetbagger. Could there be anything worse than that?
Imagine. 20 after 7 o'clock in the morning anyway. So to take a look at what happened on the markets today, the lady on Fox News breathlessly said the Dow is off by 150 points. Oh, my gosh. The gnashing of the teeth on Wall Street here today. 26,548. Did you hear that? It's still over 26,000 for the Dow. Not bad for heading into summertime. Off by 179 points in the red. NASDAQ also ruby red at 78.84. S&P 500 slips about 27, almost 28 points to close at 29.17. So those are the numbers that we've got for you on that. The other markets are also, everybody bouncing around here. FTSE's the only market that's up, but they're only up by 5 points. The Nikkei closed down. The Hang Seng is down. Shanghai at 29.82 is off by about 26 points. Even the DAX is down at 12,228. On the commodities, 58.77 for a barrel of West Texas crude. Looking at the numbers from yesterday, 57.43. So before I left, it was 52. I've been back on the air for 3 days, and we've seen that number climb another $6 or $7.
It's you.
It must. It must be. The number that I don't have just yet.
11.4.
You're. What's that?
Bitcoin.
Oh, I wasn't. Yeah, I was. That's not the one I was
sorry,
looking. I was looking for Tapas. I wanted to see what the Tapas numbers are. So it'll take me a second to get to that. What did you say Bitcoin was though?
11.4.
11.4 for Bitcoin. And that's up from where it was yesterday.
Yeah.
So you want to talk? It's doing. I mean, there must be something weird happening in that particular market.
I will tell you. I have some friends that are involved in this, and in a chat, and they say there's something going on with the altcoins, the alternative coins, right? They're not they're not going up at the same rate. And what these guys came off and said the reason is because people are buying Bitcoin with the altcoins. And I hadn't heard that opinion yet. And they're getting rid of the other ones, and that's why they're not going up.
So, that it's like you've got a power supply. It's like you're charging a battery off of a power supply with a battery inside of it already. So it's an inefficient use of the funds. I could see where that would make it topsy-turvy. But didn't Facebook come out the other day and announce that they wanted to get into the cyber currency business?
They aren't big enough to make it real serious. So, but what's happening? I think the guy that created Ethereum, which is the second most popular coin, about a year ago or so, came out and said there's eventually only going to be a few coins. Bitcoin, his coin, obviously, and maybe a few more. He said the rest are going to go away. And
how can they go away though?
People stop buying them.
I get it, but would they not stay the same value? I mean, no. So that's a screwy thing in my mind. You can't go to zero. You shouldn't be able to, with these things, go to zero. There should be some kind of inherent value to them.
There's
intrinsic value.
There's no intrinsic value to cryptocurrency. It's only in the faith of the people that buy it.
Yeah.
Period. There's nothing that backs them up. This isn't stock.
Like the U.S. dollar.
Yeah. Well, yeah, full faith in currency, the full faith and credit of the federal government of the United States was good enough for the Chinese, should be good enough for us, right? But I hear what you're saying. So and maybe that in and of itself is the reason why I've not invested into anything like these cyber currencies, because there is the possibility now that it can go to nothing.
If you're going to invest in cryptocurrency, you would do it with money that you absolutely are ready to lose.
Scary thought. 7:24 in the morning. Jerry Roberts is in the studio for today's Extra Point, and maybe a little bit of economic advice, as it were, and we'll get into some of that now.
But what does a carpetbagger know, actually?
I don't know. That's if you ask me, that's a riff. That in and of itself is an Extra Point riff. How not to be a carpetbagger in the eyes of the governor of Guam. It's 7:24, brought to you by Guam Insurance Services and First Hawaiian Bank, where it all starts with yes.
And I like this governor of Guam, so it's okay. We've talked a lot about the pursuit of goals on this program. It's an important topic. Today, we just might have the goal clarity you've been looking for. That's next on the Extra Point.
It's important to have claims process that works for you. At Guahan Insurance Services, we make things simple and convenient. Same door you walk in to purchase your insurance is the same door you open to file your claim. We can't pretend that the car insurance claims process is fun, but we can promise a hassle-free and speedy recovery without any runarounds. For your home, auto, and business insurance, visit us at the Camacho Landmark Center on Marine Corps Drive in Tamuning. Don't forget to like us on Facebook or give us a call at 475-1162 or text 929-SAVE. That's 929-7283.
Travel the world and then some with the 2 million United Miles sweepstakes from First Hawaiian Bank. Enter and you could win the grand prize of 1 million miles or be one of 6 other lucky winners. The world is big. Our prize is bigger. Enter at fhb.com/2 million miles. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited. Sweepstake starts on May 1st and ends June 30th, 2019. Open to legal residents of Guam and CNMI. Ages 18 years or older. Visit 2millionmiles.com for official rules. First Hawaiian Bank. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
We're talking about goals. Every goal, long-term or short, needs to be, here's the key point, needs to be rooted in your vision of success. Otherwise, you're just writing on paper. To inspire and motivate you to pursue it, it has to be rooted in your vision of success. Whatever your goals are, they should make you want to get out of bed in the morning and charge after them. You need to see that success and want it. If you're a person who sets goals, you likely have them for your career or business, your health and fitness, your family, and maybe for a special hobby. The question is, are they big enough? In Extra Point number 218, we talked about setting big, hairy goals, the kind that are so big they take your breath away. They almost scare you. Another way to look at this is charting your destination the same way that sailors have forever, with the North Star. It's used to keep us on course, and if we stray, a simple glance tells us our position, and we get back on track. North Star goals and objectives have become popularized in business and personal development circles, and people who like the concept use it to establish long-term, high-level ambitions that allow the user to essentially reach for the stars. I believe in having small and big goals, including those that make you stretch beyond where you've been to where you can only imagine. Let's say you want to be a manager in a big company. That's a good goal. Now, what if you took it and pointed it due north to being CEO of that company in X number of years? That's a serious North Point goal. Maybe you don't run now, but you want to compete in a 10K in a certain time within 3 months. Good. Now, maybe you can take that objective north and decide to run a marathon in 3 months, or maybe 6. We haven't talked about the steps needed to achieve your goals. You'll figure it out. The key is taking action, and it has to be specific action. Each step in your progression has to take you closer to your objective. And did you complete it? Did you fully complete it? I've had people tell me they almost completed a step in their goal or sort of completed a step in their goal, and that's not going to get you to where you want to be. You have to chart your steps for the goal, then check off that you absolutely completed each step and write the date that you completed each step. Sounds like a lot of busy work and paperwork. Well, whatever it is, you have to do it. Whatever system you employ for goals, you have to carefully track your progress because that is what keeps you motivated. Finally, never mind what anyone else thinks about your goals. Those who pursue North Star objectives aren't worried if their goal seems outrageous to others. They go for it anyway. Let me close by highlighting just a couple of benefits of the North Star approach. One, you let yourself dream and go after a big challenge. That's important because you're stretching your personal beliefs. Another, and I love this truth, is that even if you fall short of your big goal, you just might be a lot further down the road than if you'd set a more modest goal. And wouldn't that be okay? Go ahead and dream, then decide, then commit, and then take action, and then get after it. That's the extra point. Get out there and make something good happen today. For 93.3, the Ray Gibson Show, Guahan Insurance Services, and First Hawaiian Bank. I'm Jerry Roberts.
Yeah, there is a process to all of those things, isn't there?
Yeah, there is.
And the first one ought to be trying to figure out what goal is worthy of you and all of that effort.
Yeah.
We start talking about goals and things like that, and you always try to have a project or something like that that I can check off. So this year it was running the marathon and getting a PR. I wanted to go sub 4, tried real hard, didn't make it. Very hot course, hard race, and there was this minor injury I had to deal with, but I still managed to PR for that. But there was a process. It's a 16-week process to train from a level of fitness to get yourself to a point where you can run a marathon and not be worried about the distance, the mileage, or the time. But I think about that, and I'm thinking about guys like Carl Peterson. And there was once upon a time he wanted to be the president of the JC's International. And he began a process that took him to the presidency of the JC's International. And so, in my mind, it seems to me that there are a lot of, you sit around and go, well, I've got this goal. It might seem impossible. This goal, it might seem impossible. But there's a process. You just got to figure out what that process is, and you'd be surprised what you'd be able to do when it's done.
Because you lay down these little steps along the way. You know what they are. But the problem with goals is when companies sit down and do goals, it's based on last year's sales. It's based on a certain percentage of growth this year. And now everybody has to now sell this much more. That is not what we want to do with goals necessarily. We want to go higher. And that's the whole thing about North Star, North Point goals is shoot for the moon.
Well, I mean, shoot for the moon, but is there a limit? Do you suppose? I mean, if I wanted to come in and say my goal here for this radio station group is 100% market share. I mean, is that an achievable goal? Is it or is it not? It's not so much the achievement of the goal; it's the trying to get there and all of the other processes and projects that go into it.
Well, now if you're talking 100% market share, the question is, can you sell it out there?
Out to the people who work here.
Yeah, they're not going to believe it. So that would not be a believable goal that nobody would ever listen to another radio station.
Right. Okay.
Though, of course, they shouldn't.
Never. And if you do, make sure it's one of mine. 93.3, 101.1, 104.3. Anyway, 7:31. That's all the time we got for Jerry Roberts in today's Extra Point. Find it and other transcripts from the show at GuamTraining.com on the World Wide Web. Jared,
yes,
always great to have you in the studio. We got to jump into headlines from the Guam Daily Post. Here's Kevin Kerrigan.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. In the headlines from the Guam Daily Post this morning, China deployed an aircraft carrier to an area of the Pacific Ocean near Guam earlier this month. That, according to reports in Taiwanese newspapers, the China Times and the Liberty Times. They report the Chinese Navy's aircraft carrier, the Liaoning, for the first time traversed an area near Guam. The aircraft carrier was accompanied by a Chinese fleet that included a destroyer and a Chinese guided missile destroyer. The deployment of the Chinese aircraft carrier near Guam comes as the U.S. and its military partners are engaged in joint training exercises in the South China Sea and the East China Sea. GovGuam ended the 2018 budget year with a $10 million deficit, a reversal of its financial standing from a year earlier when the local government posted a $32.7 million surplus. GovGuam collected $688 million in general fund revenue during the 2018 budget year. That was $21 million less than the year before, a 3% decrease, according to an audit report released by the Office of Public Accountability. The audit covered the last full budget year under the previous administration of Governor Eddie Calvo. Following the Trump tax cut, GovGuam implemented a 1 percentage point increase in the business privilege tax, which rose from 4 to 5%. That increase contributed $36 million in local taxes, but it didn't fully offset the adverse impact of the Trump tax cuts, according to the audit report. Magistrate Judge Joaquin Manabusan has concluded that the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Service has not complied with the District Court of Guam's order prohibiting the agency from denying H-2B visas for temporary foreign workers. Judge Manabusan has recommended to Chief Judge Francis Stidinko Gatewood that sanctions be imposed on the federal agency. In his report to the Chief Judge, Manabusan writes that the Immigration Service has failed to meaningfully appreciate the ramifications of Judge Gatewood's previous injunction requiring USCIS to stop its blanket denial of H-2B visa applications from Guam employers. The lawsuit was filed by the Guam Contractors Association and other island businesses. Guam Contractors Association President James Martinez told the Guam Daily Post that Manabusan's report is a step in the right direction. Guam Department of Labor Alien Labor Certification Chief Greg Massey said, "It seems like this is a good development for the contractors' efforts to hold USCIS accountable. GovGuam is not a party to the lawsuit," but Massey said the Department of Labor is interested to see how the Chief Judge rules on Judge Manabusan's recommendation as the case moves forward. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post.
Good plan. It's 7:34 already, and that's iConnect time. Call them at 888-8888 and tell them that you're spending too much money on mobile and internet plans, and they'll put you into a plan where you can do all the things that you need to do. Make phone calls, send text messages, WhatsApp, and Facebook, and Instagram, and all that stuff without spending the big bucks. 888-8888.
Your home is one of the most important investments you'll make in your life. At Nanbo Insurance, you can rest easy knowing that you're covered with reliable and affordable homeowners insurance. Nanbo makes it easy to protect what matters the most so you can enjoy the moments that matter the most. With Nanbo, you can also save big when you bundle up and insure your car, home, motorcycle, or business. Enjoy great savings up to 50%. Visit nanbo.com or call 477-9754 for more details.
I hear that. 7:35 in the morning. Upgrade from basic with 3 new sandwiches. Wendy's made to crave menu: the barbecue chicken sandwich, avocado BLT chicken sandwich, and the sauce and bacon chicken sandwich. At Wendy's, they gotcha.
We know too well the inconvenience of not having power after a storm. You worry about food in the freezer going bad. Nights get hot. It's hard finding comfort when going to sleep. These are realities. But with solar and battery storage from Micronesia Renewable Energy, these realities can be a thing of the past. The solar works during the day and the batteries power your home at night. Call 632-2613 to see how solar plus battery storage can make life a little more convenient. MRE, the smarter choice.
Is it traffic gizmo time? Well, it might be. Let me just see if I can get the map up so I can see where there might be some traffic that is going to slow you down on your way into the office or wherever it is this morning. It's about 7:36, and yeah, that's when things normally start to busy up. But it's weird. I'm looking at northbound traffic, Marine Corps Drive, just past the intersection of 1 and 3, looking busier than just about anywhere else. There's a couple of places southbound that'll slow you down, but that's generally where the intersections are. Marine Corps Drive, if you're headed on from the airport towards Marine Corps Drive, you can expect some slowing down over at the intersections, especially the one that takes you onto Marine Corps Drive. A little bit of traffic in front of the ITC building, traffic generally turning into the Route 14 intersection, Challenge San Antonio. And then you got traffic coming down on Route 8, trying to get into the downtown Agutnia area. There is that turn in between Pokey Fry and Pokey Fry. I had Pokey Fry last night. I had I'm sorry, just distracted myself for a second. The little Krabby Patty burger that they've got there is so good. They'd actually almost run out, and then somebody remembered at lunchtime. Ray said he's coming back in tonight for one of these things, so they saved it for me. I love them over there. Anyway, so in between Pokey Fry and Venue, there's that weird turn that comes off of Route 8 that takes you towards the Bank of Guam, that little squirrely bridge intersection there. Anyway, it's this time of day, it's ugly, so I would avoid that. Make the turn over by Rainbow, and you should be in for better movement into the downtown area. Traffic moving into Big Navy Hospital seems to be a little bit busy right now. I think everybody's going to work. It's 7:38. That's right now traffic on the point.
Discover a new Galaxy. GTA introduces the new Samsung Galaxy S10 in 3 different sizes. The Galaxy S10 comes with cool new features like Power Share that allows you the ability to share your battery power with other devices. Or you can capture a wider world with its new camera featuring an ultra-wide lens for when you need to take pictures of the whole family. And with GTA handset payment option, you can take home a Galaxy S10 for $0 down. GTA, we start with you.
7:38. Hey, we're going to pretend to talk about sports with Blake Watson next hour of the program. 888-825-5888-TALK. And I was looking at one of my Facebook stories because I have this massive ego, right? And so on Facebook stories, generally, if I got an interview or something like that with somebody in the studio, I like to, we do a selfie at the end of it, and I put it on Facebook, either as a feed or as a story. And I'm delighted to tell you that the picture that I put up yesterday of myself and Natalia Faculo came in talking about what was it? She came in talking about Toastmasters and the meeting they had last night. Was a good crowd that they had there last night, but a bigger crowd of people that are liking the picture on the stories. In fact, it is one of the most clicked on, one of the most viewed stories that I've got, and it's because Natalia is very, very easy on the eyes. She's like, "Wow, can I come back in?" I'm like, "Yeah." The answer is any time. So if you're wondering what I'm talking about, open up the Facebook or hit Facebook Live and see what's going on. Ron and Cindy De La Rosa join me. I got Richard V. Leon who says that little Lou LG plans to attack the China flotilla with man-made proas. Edwin Kichitsu, I got Melissa Perlowski online with the husband. That's nice. Who else is playing around? Former Governor Carl T.C. Gutierrez is there. And I got a link from just a snippet of an interview that he did when he was in Manila with the publishers and the friends over at Manila Times, talking about of all things, and maybe I get around to playing some of it for you, talking about how great President Donald Trump is, and trying to express that to the folks out in the Philippines, and you might be thinking, well, does it because Donald loves Trump? I got to remind you, Carl was initially a fan of Hillary Clinton. And I remember once he told me on the air, Hillary's going to win. And I said, no, Hillary's going to jail is what's going to be happening. He said, no. But I don't know. I think once Trump was elected, Carl seemed to find an affinity for the guy. And I thought that was very, very interesting. They're both kind of can-do, results-oriented folks. So I thought it was a pretty interesting snippet that he played yesterday. And not a bad idea. If Donald Trump gets a copy of that snippet, and maybe Donald Trump will see things the way we do and help us invite more people from the Philippines to come to Guam for visa-free trips. Kutwal Singh is online. I got Romeo Carlos there. Bob Kelly is hanging out with us this morning. Lynn Perez and Therese Uggen-Rigel. Erlyn Rivera and Bob Lizama. Crystal Schnabel is online. James Schmidt, Regina Leve Nedlick. I got Levon Guerrero. Carlos Barreto is online. I'm for Tom Todzi. and James Adkins. They're all in the list of folks that I get to hang out with and talk to this morning. Charlie Hermosa, Joe Leasea-Long is online, Joanne Cruz, Joe Cruz. I think I've got all of the Cruzes and all the Leon Guerreros, I think, are online at this time. 741-888-8255-888-TALK on the Bluetooth, because he's a boss like that. The former Senator and Port Director Rory Respicio. Good morning, Rory.
Hi, good morning, Ray. I'm on the Bluetooth because I'm driving.
You are. It's all about safety, isn't it?
And I'm heading into the office. Correct, of course.
Yes, you don't want to get pulled over by your own port police for yakking on a cell phone. Anyway, a couple of quick questions for you that I'm kind of curious about. And you and I haven't had a chance to talk in a while, but we were able to finally secure all the authority that you needed over at the port to make a couple of accommodations on the construction spend that was originally foreseen in the loan application to priorities that you think are more important now.
Well, not quite. We're almost there. Senator Gell introduced a bill to amend the law, which would authorize how those proceeds are to be dispersed. And the public hearing is this coming Friday, July 5 at 9 a.m. So I want to thank Senator Gell for introducing the bill, for scheduling a hearing.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, he's coming down to the port today. He'll be touring the waterfront side with Joe Cruz and Cavis Marine, and then we have him on the terminal yard side for about an hour, and then we go into the Port Users Group meeting at 11.
Now, the
Port Users Group will be able to communicate to Senator Gell how critical this is to ensure that the revenue-generating facilities of the port are shored up.
Now, starting off at the pier side, in particular, with the guys from Cabris Marine, because that is an area that has been identified that I'm aware of for about the last 10 years that has got some real structural issues that need to be corrected, and those were not part of the $74 million loan.
Correct. And for whatever reason, it wasn't part of that. We just want to keep moving forward. And we've identified an opportunity to be able to address that by acknowledging that there's no need for a new administration building. We're going to keep the existing admin building, build an annex, have a bridge to connect to the annex, and as a result, we can reduce the $17.5 million that was earmarked for that project, reduce it by up to 40%, so we have at least $7 million that we can direct towards the F1 or a connectivity line between Gulf Pier and F1, and also the financial management system and terminal system upgrades. And so these are the things that we're asking Senator Gell and the legislature. The governor is fully on board to prioritize where this money really should be allocated toward. The board is fully on board from the very beginning. When this information was provided to them by us on January 8th, they worked on a resolution authorizing that these things be done through the legislative process and through the governor. So I think but the good news is, I want to let you know and the public know, is we didn't stop to wait for the law to be amended. We kind of just did things in parallel. So we didn't lose any time at all. And we're just addressing everything at one time. Right.
Well, as I said, I think it's an important thing that needs to be taken care of, and something that had been identified a long time ago under previous leadership over at the port that for whatever reason we weren't able to get done. And there's a lot that goes on, a lot of moving parts. I remember there were generator procurement issues and crane procurement issues. I guess which leads me to another question: is we start talking about the spend on that loan that the port went out and got. Are there funds in there for the replacement of the cranes at the shipyard?
Originally, it was the hope from the very beginning that the crane acquisition be part of that, but that was at a $120 million bond borrowing, and so when that thing got pared down, obviously things needed to be reanalyzed. And there's a crane surcharge fee that takes a percentage of every container and puts that into the fee. We're going to look to, by this time next year, start procuring one crane. But, like I said, there's all these opportunities that keep coming up. Most recently, there was a grant opportunity issued by Merit. I guess it's FEMA and Homeland Security for about $290 million nationwide.
Yeah.
And part of that could be used to purchase port equipment. And so I've worked with planning right now, and we're going to put together a grant request to purchase 2 cranes under that grant opportunity. And we're already socializing this idea through Gary Corbala and Office of Economic Adjustment. We're going to leverage whatever help the governor and Congressman Slickers can provide through the Civilian Military Task Force or any other forum where we can convey that the purchase of 2 cranes through this grant is really necessary in order to mitigate the impending buildup and provide for so I think everything, it's going to work out. It's going to work out because when we make the argument in the interest of national security, in the interest of port stability, what better argument to make than the need to have cranes that work?
Oh, for sure. But don't forget, you were at the legislature at the time that we did go out for a Tiger grant, and over at the port, and for whatever reason we didn't get it, and so what we had to do, my recollection of what we had to do on that one was the Marines went out and found some money. Where was it? Department of Agriculture, and used that to support some whatever the purchases were that need to get made at the port.
Well, a couple of things. I know at the time there was about $50 million from the DOD, Department of Defense, but there was a $10 million Tiger grant. That was awarded to the port, and that $10 million grant is going to be used to resurface surface upgrades below wharf and hotel wharf. And then we partnered that $10 million grant with a $71 million revenue bond grant to fund the port modernization plan. And so there are so many hot spots. We have ideas on how to try to provide for the crane acquisition. We have an idea to provide for the demolition of those 2 OTAR gantry cranes through a settlement we're trying to work through the Guam shipyard, and this idea is also being run through the Port Users Group so that they can get buy-in and they can express the need to have this done to the legislature.
Well, and get started on it as quick as possible. Unfortunately, it's not like you can go to Cranes R Us and have them ship one right out to you. And you've got the whole procurement process that comes in after that, and we've had issues with procurement and cranes in the past.
Yeah, and our consultants already have been developing the specs for the purchase of a new crane. So all things being correct and perfect, if we had the money, what kind of cranes will we buy? And there was a lot of back and forth, Ray, about do we buy a 100-gauge crane? Do we buy a 50-gauge crane? Do we buy diesel, electric? And so I asked the questions the next 30 years, is the port ever, because in order to have a 100-gauge crane, you're going to have to increase the wharf and provide, retrofit that to have a bigger crane and have a bigger capacity. And in the next 30 years, none of us at the port see that happening, so we're just going to stick with the 50-gauge crane, which is more than sufficient.
Yep. I got that. Now, there's one other story on the port, and I think it's in today's Guam Daily Post. Port Authority legal counsel in questions, and there was a hearing that was at Menno, that Bernadette Stern Menno was supposed to be having, but I guess that's been put on hold now because the current counsel thinks they've still got it, but the other counsel or Vivian says no, that's not the case.
Well, there really shouldn't be a question, and I just sent my good friend Kevin Kerrigan a message like about 6:30 this morning saying that the whole story in the Post where he talked about the $600,000 amount to Jojo Guevara, Ray, that was not a settlement. That was a court order. And so in the entire narrative of that story, it's wrong. It's what makes people upset to think that this board settled $600,000 for Mr. Guevara, where to the contrary, obviously that was not the case. It was court ordered, and that after a 7-year stint, after the port losing on a 60-day rule in the Civil Service Commission, appealing in the Superior Court, losing the Superior Court, appealing the Supreme Court twice, losing the Supreme Court twice, the result of that was, the court ordered that this thing need to be paid. The board took action to pay it, and the whole story made it look like we settled, and then he referenced people that were against the settlement. It just muddies the waters completely, right? And I'm hoping that Kevin will do a retraction and let the community know that that was court ordered. Now, in the case of...
Well, Kevin is here. His microphone is on. He sits next to me.
Yeah, no, it was a court-ordered settlement, and the narrative of the story wasn't really about that. It was about the dispute.
Well,
it was about the dispute over the attorney. That was the narrative, Rory, as the story indicates clearly.
That's what I know.
There won't be any retraction.
Well, Kevin, not clearly, because that's not how the story read. So you really...
That's not the way you read it, but the way the story does read is that it's a dispute over the attorney. Connie questioned the presence of Phillips Bordallo at that hearing, and that's what the story's about.
But there was a sub-story, Kevin, that...
Oh, a sub-story now. Okay.
talked about a $600,000 settlement, and that...
Court-ordered settlement,
yeah,
yes.
But it's not in the story that I'm referencing.
But Kevin, it's not even settlement; it's court-ordered payment. That's my whole point. There was no settlement discussions. There was no compromises that were made. The court was very clear and told the court that this is the amount they have to pay.
Okay, well, I'm going to let you guys settle that off the air here. The question that I've got is, who is DePort's lawyer today? It's 26th of June, and so is Phillips and Bordallo still your lawyer?
No, he's not. His contract terminated on June 17, but weeks prior to that, we had a meeting with the Attorney General's office, and they've agreed to be the port's lawyer. And at the civil service hearing, which Ms. Shinhara attended, the Attorney General's office, Attorney Weinberg was there to represent the Port Authority of Guam. And there was and so Phillips argued that there was no change of counsel notice to Civil Service Commission. And according to the Attorney General's office, because we're in the process of hiring an in-house counsel, they did not file that paperwork. But what the administrative law judge said at that meeting was clearly the port is this counsel is not representing the Port Authority of Guam, and so he gave 14 days for anyone who is going to represent the port to file whatever motions need to be filed.
All right, so Darlene Heighton's appearance at this hearing, in your mind, was inappropriate, as she is no longer, and Phillips Bordallo is no longer the legal firm for the port.
No, maybe in her mind it was appropriate because there was no change of counsel notice given to the Civil Service Commission. But you know, the Attorney General's office was there. They're representing the port. They were the ones that filed asked for the 30-day continuance, so they'll give a new counsel opportunity to get caught up to speed.
All right, and so the 30-day continuance on all of that. Will the Attorney General's office continue to represent the port, or are you going to be going out looking for other representation?
Well, the Attorney General will represent the port until such time we have an in-house counsel, and the announcement ended. We have 3 applicants that submitted, and we're just going through the interview process right now. So, but that's going to happen within a few weeks. But in the meantime, the Attorney General has communicated to me via Attorney General, Deputy Attorney General has communicated to us via email that for the board meeting we had today, that although they're not physically able to be present, they're available by phone to answer any legal questions the board may have on procedures.
Do you need your own in-house counsel? I mean, can Weinberger keep doing a good job for you at the Attorney General's office and maybe save the port a couple of bucks?
Well, first of all, we don't need a law firm to be billing the port at $70,000 a month. And so the idea behind an in-house counsel is to do all the routine legal stuff that could be done with a staff attorney. The specialized legal firm will be there to take care of litigation, to take care of anything that the in-house counsel can't take care of. Your question about can Weinberger continue to represent the port? Unfortunately, you'll know the situation with the Attorney General's office, and there's staff shortages, there are challenges. As a result, they cannot physically attend the board meeting today. But I'm grateful that General Camacho is providing whatever bridge is necessary until such time the port's able to bring someone on board.
Yeah, if you need some help, some legal advice, you give me a call. I'll help you out.
Okay.
Hey, appreciate your time here, buddy. I'll talk to you pretty soon.
But the bottom line is the port is not without legal representation at this time, and the Attorney General is going to do that.
All right. Well, we'll line up a call with General Camacho one of these days and see if he's as busy as everybody says. Talk to you pretty soon, Rory. Have a great day.
Thanks.
Always fun. Always, always exciting to have Rory on the phone here. 756 and change, 888-255-888-TALK. A couple of other things that might be of interest to you in the business community. The note here from the Guam Chamber of Commerce, and you don't have to be a member of the Chamber of Commerce to pay attention to what it is that they've got to say. They have a legislative review and business advocacy group, and Bobby Shringy is generally the guy in charge of all of that. What they like to do in this group is take a look, scrutinize, if you will, all of the bills and measures that are being introduced by the legislature and comments that are being made by elected officials in the government of Guam and say, yeah, that's where the business community is okay with that. Or the business community might have some issues with that. So, there's a kind of getting in there and talking with the guys in the elected offices. And so they're putting out the word that there is going to be a public hearing for Bill 136-35. And this, if you are operating a business and if you've got employees in the business, this measure will apply to you one way or the other. 136 is a measure that would increase the minimum wage here on Guam. The public hearing is going to be this Friday, 2 sessions, one at 2 o'clock in the afternoon and another one at 6 o'clock. Both will take place at the legislature building in Agana, across from the cathedral. You can send your written comments, if you've got them, to Senator Regine Bisco-Lee. Or you can show up to the public hearing and you want to be a representative of the business community and point out the flawed thinking behind an increase in the minimum wage here on Guam. Why are they going after this? Well, if you get with the authors, he'll say, well, because the cost of living on Guam has gone up so drastically. My goodness, the price of gasoline, the price of a can of Spam and a case of beer in the store, it's beyond anyone's grasp. But the reason why the can of Spam price has gone up and the cost of a case of Budweiser has gone up and the cost of a gallon of gas has gone up is because the guys over at the legislature increased the business privilege tax to 5%. That's why that happened. And now they want to go out and say, well, times are so tough on the good, hardworking people of Guam that we need to increase the wages that they are paid on an hourly basis. Listen, if you want to do, and I've told you this before, if you want to do right by everybody, all taxpayers, all voters, Senator, here's what you do. You roll back the liquid fuels tax on the price of a gallon of gas. Take it back to 11 cents. Heck, eliminate it completely. Most of the road work done around here is done with federal dollars anyway. A. B, here's the other thing that you can do is roll back the business privilege tax. Take it from 5 to 3. All right, you're probably going to want to stop at 4 and just take it back to where it was before you started meddling around with it. And that would reduce the prices for everybody, including folks that the government of Guam does business with. So the prices ought to come down for everybody. This minimum wage thing, this playing around with tweaking. And the thing that bothers me the most of the people that are going to be voting on this over at the legislature have never run a business and have never had to worry about payroll the night before payday.
But if they do that, where will they get the money for their embossed toilet paper?
Amen to that, buddy. It's 8 o'clock in the morning. The radio station is KUSG. The carpetbagger station. Can we do that? Last week we were the exaggeration station. There's got to be a way we can be the carpetbagger place or something like that. I'll come up with a clever liner while the news is playing. Fox News Live, as a matter of fact. And yeah, I know the station's coming in and out. If you're listening on the actual radio, head to Facebook Live. You'll be able to hear us much better on that, or YouTube Live if you like to.
Carpetbagger swagger?
Carpetbagger swagger. I like that. Here's Fox News.
Pleading their case. I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. 2 weeks after emotional testimony before members of Congress, 9/11 and first responders meet with the Senate Majority Leader. Fox's Jared Halpern live on Capitol Hill.
The Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell has agreed to a vote by August on extending a victims and first responders compensation fund, a group of 9/11 first responders said after a meeting with the lawmaker.
If he strays from his commitment, then we'll go back into attack mode. But for now, we're going to put down our swords.
John Field was a recovery worker at Ground Zero. The 9/11 Compensation Fund provides health care services to first responders. It's set to expire next year. Payouts have already been slashed. A House measure would replenish that fund and extend it to 2090. Lisa.
Jared, new fallout from the crisis at the border as the acting commissioner steps down days after it was revealed dozens of migrant children were living at a remote detention center in filthy conditions.
John Sanders had been acting as head of the U.S. Customs and Border Protection since its commissioner, Kevin McAleenan, was tapped to take over as acting Homeland Security Secretary in April. Sanders' resignation takes effect July 5th, but in an email to CBP employees did not explain the reasons for his departure. CBP has been at the forefront of responding to a surge of Central American families at the U.S. southern border that the president and even some Democrats have called a humanitarian crisis.
Fox's John Decker at the White House. Iran still takes threats from the U.S. seriously. So says President Trump one day after a new round of economic sanctions.
I'll tell you what the message is. When they're ready, they'll have to let us know. When they're ready, they'll let us know. Very simple.
Earlier today, Tehran warned the sanctions mean closing the doors of diplomacy. This is Fox News.
This is Ronnie. Ronnie is about to break his piggy bank.
Come on, piggy bank.
Ronnie wants to upgrade his smartphone.
And this piggy's gonna help me.
If Ronnie had signed up for GTA's handset payment option, he could have selected a new smartphone with an affordable monthly plan.
I could have what?
Exactly. Sign up for HBO at GTA and don't break the bank.
I'm sorry, piggy bank.
Terms and conditions apply. GTA, we start with you.
When it comes to power and performance, nothing compares to Dodge. And right now at Cars Plus and Mighty, you can save thousands on many Dodge vehicles in stock during our Dodge Performance Days. Like a new 2019 Grand Caravan SE, save $4,250 or save $6,150 on a new Durango SXT. Looking for more power? Take home a new Charger SXT Plus today for only $37,689 or save over $7,000 on a new Challenger GT. Get more power and performance at Cars Plus and Mighty during Dodge Performance Days. Cars Plus, driven by you.
She hasn't been seen in more than a week. The search continues for a missing University of Utah student.
Mackenzie Lewick was last spotted a week ago yesterday when she left a Lyft driver's car at a Salt Lake City park and got into another car. Police are already looking at her cell phone records, but Assistant Police Chief Tim Doubt says this disappearance, according to her family, seems unusual.
We see no indication that she has gone off the grid before. This kind of behavior is uncharacteristic for her, according to them.
The Lyft driver has been cleared of suspicion. It was confirmed he picked up other passengers that morning. Police are also examining social media and bank records to trace any activity. Gernal Scott, Fox News.
San Francisco's Board of Supervisors votes to ban the sale of e-cigarettes on city property. The city is the corporate headquarters of Juul Labs, the largest maker of e-cigarettes in the country. Illinois becomes the 11th state to legalize recreational marijuana.
With a swipe of his pen, Illinois' new governor, J.B. Pritzker, delivers a top campaign promise and legalizes recreational marijuana.
Change is hard. But an essential tenet of good governance is recognizing the need to change the laws that have failed.
Pot legalization goes into effect January 1st. It means that almost 800,000 people with criminal records may have those records expunged. Police in Illinois are wary, though marijuana sales will also be a financial boon for the state, a state that's buried in debt. Jeff Manasso, Fox News.
Through rain, sleet, snow, and now years late, the U.S. Postal Service says it's found mail stolen in Hawaii more than 10 years ago. The family of a deceased postal worker says they found it in a storage unit and turned it over to officials. Most of the mail belonged to people in the downtown Honolulu area. The Postal Service didn't identify the worker by name. I'm Lisa Lacera. This is Fox News.
Regardless of your age, your eye health may be at significant risk from diabetes, cataracts, glaucoma, and retina problems. A comprehensive eye health exam is key to maintaining your precious gift of sight. Contact Island Eye Specialists to schedule an appointment today. That's 637-2020 or online at islandiguam.com. We accept Stay Well, Take Care, Calvo Select Care, and Netcare Health Insurance. Island Eye Specialists. We are your eye doctor.
Here at APL, our core values give the company its heart and soul. Whether it's connecting your business with our global network through our newly enhanced service or investing our efforts into giving back to the community, APL is committed to serving you. We humbly honor the opportunity to find innovative solutions for you and your business. To learn more about our enhanced service, call 588-4651 or visit www.apl.com/Guam for more details.
Hey, welcome to this Subway ad for the new club collection. How do you want it?
I'll take a book club.
Absolutely.
So, last week we sunk our teeth into Subway's meaty new release, the Steak Club.
I didn't finish it yet.
Oh, not again, Sandra. This week, it's the new Southwest Chicken Club, also by Subway. No spoilers, but there's a tasty twist.
Jalapeno cheddar bread and guacamole?
Sandra, get out. Subway, make it what you want.
Good ending.
Limited time only at participating restaurants.
We have some really great home loan programs, but did you know we have great business loans too? Every day we're working with companies to purchase equipment, to buy or build properties, or make tenant improvements. We offer letters of credit, working capital, and term loans, and we make all of our credit decisions here. Commercial loans, commercial banking from Bank Pacific.
Bank Pacific, where others put branches, we place roots.
Equal housing lender, member FDIC. Viva Bank Pacific.
Half a day and Good Morning Guam. News time here at The Point is 7 minutes past 8 a.m. this Wednesday morning. I'm Kevin Kerrigan. Here's a look now at some of the top stories from the Guam Daily Post. Governor Lulian Guerrero spent 3 hours yesterday afternoon and into the evening listening and responding to concerns raised by a room full of activists opposed to the military buildup who urged her to seek a full stop to the ongoing construction of the firing range complex on Northwest Field at Anderson Air Force Base. The governor, however, did not endorse their call for a full stop. She said she has only asked for a pause in construction around the 9 sites where artifacts have recently been found and around a rare tree. The governor said she sent a letter to Joint Region Commander Rear Admiral Shoshana Chatfield yesterday seeking a pause of construction in those areas. However, on Friday, Joint Region issued a statement saying they had already paused construction activity around all of those areas as required by the programmatic agreement. The governor told the activists that she supports the military buildup, but not for economic reasons, for security reasons, she said. I really fear for the security of our people, said the governor, citing the threats posed by North Korea and China. The governor said she does not believe the economic and job creation narrative behind the buildup is all that great. She accused off-island companies of being carpetbaggers, taking advantage of military contracts. The firing range complex is being built by Black Construction, a local contractor based in Tamuning. In response to a request for comment on the growing controversy, Joint Region Commander Rear Admiral Chatfield said, the Navy takes its role to protect and preserve our natural and cultural resources very seriously. She said she and her staff are in close communication with Guam's elected officials. She said it is her strong desire to maintain a productive dialogue about the planning and accomplishments that inform and ensure the defense of Guam and the nation. In related news, China deployed an aircraft carrier to an area of the Pacific Ocean near Guam earlier this month. According to reports in Taiwanese newspapers, the China Times and the Liberty Times, the Chinese Navy's aircraft carrier, the Liaoning, for the first time traversed an area near Guam. The aircraft carrier was accompanied by a Chinese fleet that included a destroyer and a guided missile ship. The deployment of the Chinese aircraft carrier near Guam comes as the U.S. and its military partners are engaged in joint training exercises in the South China Sea and the East China Sea. We'll have more news after this.
KFC has finally answered the world's most important question. What came first, the chicken or the egg? And the answer is both. Introducing KFC's KFC AM, their new Southern and local-inspired breakfast. AM-loaded platter with chicken fried rice, waffles, and Colonel's chicken congee. KFC also has your all-time favorites, AM chicken and egg wraps, Southern biscuit and sausage sandwich, and hash browns. So for finger-licking good mornings, AM will never be the same at KFC. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
In illness and in wellness, Calvo's Select Care is health care that is there for you. That's why over 80% of the Guam medical community places their trust and insures with us. We offer our members wellness and fitness programs for a healthier lifestyle and provide a comprehensive medical network on and off island to help members from unexpected illnesses. Contact Calvo's Select Care today for more information.
News time here at The Point is 11 minutes past 8 a.m. Magistrate Judge Joaquin Manabusan has concluded that the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Service has not complied with the District Court of Guam's order prohibiting the agency from denying H-2B visas for temporary foreign workers. Judge Manabusan has recommended to Chief Judge Francis Tadinko Gatewood that sanctions be imposed on the federal agency. In his report to the Chief Judge, Manabusan writes that the Immigration Service has failed to meaningfully appreciate the ramifications of Judge Gatewood's previous injunction requiring USCIS to stop its blanket denial of H-2B visa applications from Guam employers. The lawsuit was filed by the Guam Contractors Association and other island businesses. Guam Contractors Association President James Martinez telling the Guam Daily Post that Manabusan's report is a step in the right direction. Guam Department of Labor Alien Labor Processing Chief Greg Massey said it seems like this is a good development for the contractors' efforts to hold USCIS accountable. Gov Guam is not a party to the lawsuit, but Massey said the Department of Labor is interested to see how the Chief Judge rules on Judge Manabusan's recommendation as the case moves forward. Gov Guam ended the 2018 budget year with a $10 million deficit, a reversal of its financial standing from a year earlier when the local government posted a $32.7 million surplus. That according to an audit report from the Office of Public Accountability. Gov Guam collected $688 million in general fund revenue during the 2018 budget year, which was $21 million less than the year before, a 3% decrease. The audit covered the last full budget year under the previous administration of Governor Eddie Calvo. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post. Ray and Mike now with some weather.
Boy, interesting report, the summary in the first couple of pages of that. Say it could have been actually worse had there not been that $29 million infusion of cash from the amnesty that Rev and Tax did last year. It would have been a $39 million deficit for 2018. But as it was, I mean, they were able to get the money in from the amnesty, but at the end of the day, it cost about $30 million in penalties and interest that we weren't able to collect to get to the $29 million. And so a little bit tricky.
So thank God for the tax increase.
Yeah, yeah. Because that's the only thing that saved them from an even bigger deficit than they got. They missed a great opportunity, as I said, to do some reorganization. Partly cloudy, isolated showers. Winds from the east 10 to 15 miles an hour, decreasing 5 to 15 after the sun goes down. Highs near 90 and overnight lows around 79. Sunset tonight at 6:51. Yakking fast here so I can get to the weather radar images so Mike can tell you that it's going to rain in the south in a minute.
Yeah, I've got to play my science music. Yes. As we look at the radar, we see isolated showers passing through. They're very light showers.
Start snoring here.
I know, right? So that's really all we got, though. We did have some showers roll through to start us off real early this morning, but not much behind it. Even that line that had formed up there, as we go through the diurnal cycle, we're getting into the daytime part, so those showers fizzled out. Maybe some more showers will fire up along that line, but it doesn't look like it right now. What we'll see is what we get is what we can see on radar there. Just hit and miss isolated showers. Checking out the satellite real quick.
What? I got some kind of an error.
Oh, wow.
On the internet thing. It was there a second ago, and I refreshed it because I wanted to see what the new one.
Been getting a lot of security alerts for non-secure websites. So I'm not sure if that's something.
You would think that the National Weather Service would be a very secure website.
You would think, but
considering it's Trump's National Weather Service, it's NOAA.
Yeah.
The heck.
But we do have some blobbage down to the south that you can't see right this second. 95 WNVest. It's going to stay down south, maybe bring us a little bit of rain right on through the weekend. But the Weather Service says it'll be few and far between. So if you get some, it'll be good for you.
I'm sorry, I can't put up the weather, but I can put up what's his face.
That's the grill marks.
Yep,
That's our grill marks. Yeah.
So the interesting story, while I got you on while we're together here, is Illinois. I'm sure you heard it in the last Fox newscast. They were talking about the state of Illinois now has Yes. They have legalized it. They have legalized the use of marijuana. And in an interesting step that I advocate for is they've also taken a look at, they're going to be going through everybody's criminal record now. So if you got, in 1977, you got picked up and got busted for having a marijuana joint in your Chevy van, they will expunge it from your record now.
There's one thing they haven't considered, though, and I think we're going to start seeing this. Some of these people that were put in jail for this offense and now are getting out, they're probably going to start suing these states for false imprisonment.
Yeah.
And there's going to be a whole lot of states giving up a whole lot of that pot money to them because they're going to be suing them.
Yeah, I don't. Do you suppose there might be a case? I mean, if it was against the law at this time, and just because now it is legal, we've looked the other way on it. The lawmakers have become a little bit more hip to the times. Does that necessarily mean that any law that you might have been convicted rightfully of back when it was illegal is beyond is beyond the pale of the court?
Well, Americans are a lawyer-happy bunch. Someone will try.
That I don't disagree with. 8:16 in the morning. We'll talk a little bit more about that. Sports with Blake is on the way. But first, we got to take this break.
GPSI Guam is a professional services company that is a registered contractor for the federal government. They're an SBA, 8A, and Hub Zone certified SDVOSB, providing program/project management, administration, technical support, logistics, and commodities. Find out more about GPSI and how they can help you today. For large prime companies, contact GPSI if you need assistance in meeting your small business subcontracting goals at 477-3058. They'll be happy to assist.
The Ray Gibson Show here on 93.3 The Point, brought to you by American President Lines. APL is shipping the future. Guys over at Micronesia Renewable Energy say you need to come by and see our batteries. They've got those things that'll attach now to your solar systems, which is pretty cool. Friends over at, where's the other guys? I see it. It's okay. It's all right. I was just looking to see if there was anything else I need to worry about this break. 2 endless garden bars, 2 tasty entrees, and a dessert to share for one terrific price. Ruby Tuesday's 2-for-1 Tuesday offer. 2 complete meals for a terrific value at just $25.99. Available all day every Tuesday for a limited time at Ruby Tuesday, Guam, and Cars, plus where they have the Chargers and the Challengers, financing as low as 1.99% APR.
Business travel just got easier. Take your data plan with you for only $10 a day to all 17 Data to Go destinations. Never worry about additional data roaming charges when you go where your business needs you. The US, China, Thailand, and so much more. Have the assurance you need to check emails, surf the web, and stay connected. Call 688-2677 today to make sure your account is Data to Go ready. Docomo Pacific. Better together.
I see it. Portions of the program also brought to you by Ron and Kim, my friends over at Security Title. Just absolutely love being a part of this show. And I like talking to them as well. Anytime somebody's got a question about real estate or, title searches and who still owns what, these are the guys that you talk to because they know how to do that archaeological research into ownership, etc. Also brought to you by Greg and his team over at Take Care Insurance.
The Coconut Wireless is back. The Ray Gibson Show. Call now, 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
Okay, got it. 888-8255-888-TALK. I was looking at that story again from Illinois, where the governor there has just signed some legislation that came to him, and they're making a big deal about this, and I will tell you, it's ticking me off. Just to get started here, Illinois on Tuesday became the 11th state to legalize the sale and use of recreational marijuana for adults, a major victory for cannabis advocates who incorporated social justice initiatives into the measures. As I was saying, the one about letting everybody off and getting records expunged. The new law, it says, is the first of its kind passed by a state legislature and signed by a governor. That's the part that ticks me off. Now, we are not a state. Territory, protectorate, minor outlying island of the United States, whatever it is that the drop-down list says that ticks you off every time you see it. But they say the first of its kind where it has come from a legislature and went to a governor for signature. That's wrong. That's wrong. The first of that kind was here. Not necessarily a state legislature, but for all intents and purposes, they're identical, except ours are full time and got the pretty building and all of that stuff. But you get our legislature created the measure, and it went to the governor's office for signature. Most other places where they have legalized cannabis for recreational use, it has been in some form of voter referendum, and that's so they're making a big deal about that, but they're wrong. It's Guam first, guys.
You can actually buy it in other places that it's legal too.
Yeah. But so my point though is that Guam's getting suckered here again. Right? Who has the first baby born on American soil every single year? Us, Tom Shea.
Yeah.
Right? Tom delivers like 18 kids in there 5 minutes after midnight, and so first and when do they always say the first baby born on American soil? Some kid in Hawaii, right?
I mean, is it no?
No, they get it wrong every time.
Well, no, usually it's some kid in New York.
Why would American Samoa not be counted? Aren't they ahead of us in time?
No, I don't think so.
No.
Yeah.
That's weird.
No, we're on the other side of the date line.
Yeah,
we're close, but they're right, kind of like Hawaii.
So every year, so we lose out on the first baby thing. And how many times do they say, and the highest prices for gasoline in the United States of America? And this is usually the case in Hawaii. Right, but and you look at Guam. Guam is more than that, but we're not America enough for them. Just a bunch of just locals around here.
What I told you, 95%
carpetbaggers.
95% of Americans have never ever heard of Guam.
There's a Guam.
See, I had this discussion yesterday because I do kind of I'm starting to kind of get offended and tired of people being like, "But how did you know? How did you know about Guam?" Like, because I owned a globe.
Right?
That's how. Because it's you realize it's on a map. That's how I know about it. It's not like, hey, it's Magic Unicorn Land. How did you know about it? Right. Because, it's the first star to the left and straight on till morning.
Exactly.
No, I know about Guam because it exists and you can get to it. And it's printed on globes. So
I knew about Guam just because as a kid I was a World War II buff, so it was just something I knew about.
And I watched Good Morning Vietnam. And yes, I've always known since probably third grade the difference between Guam, Guatemala, Guantanamo.
Yeah.
I know the difference.
Drop down. Drop downs. I hate drop down. They need to put a star. We need to have something with this because we're going to do this thing. Joe S has this thing. We're going to do online taxes on online purchases, right? So when they do Guam, we got to. There ought to be a way that we can special it up. Just because we feel like the redheaded stepkids of the United States of America. There's got to be a way that we can.
Only until North Korea threatens us do people start to care. That's really about the only time that the United States is like, oh yeah, oh yeah, Guam. Don't leave us alone. Don't bother Guam.
8:23 in the morning, and it must be time for Sports with Blake. Manami is still injured.
She's hurt? I didn't even know she was hurt. What happened to her?
I don't know. There's something over
something.
Yeah, there's a picture of her on Facebook. She's on crutches.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh man.
So
that
hanging
sounds
out over at
serious.
New Gen, getting some kind of therapy or something like that.
Cool. I
bet she could still beat me.
I'm sure, yeah. I'm cool that she's getting some good rehab. Good rehab going. Yeah. I hate to hear that she's down. Man, I wonder what it was. I wonder if it's like a sprain or a pull or,
I don't know. She was online earlier. She was on the Facebook Live earlier. I'm not sure if she's still there, but we'll take a look. We'll take a look. Anyway, do you have anything?
I do.
Is it sports?
I do. I do. I do have stuff for sports.
Let's check it.
I had this. The first win as Guam, the Little League. We've talked about them. They are over in Korea, battling it out to qualify.
Dude, these guys have got to win. We got to get to Williamsport, Buntown.
The Little League Baseball Asia Pacific and Middle East Regional Tournament. That is the official name of what they are playing in. Over in Korea, they almost beat PI, which is what it says here. Let's see here. So Guam 3, PI, which is the Philippine Islands, just in case you didn't know.
Yeah.
They got 4. So the first game, they dropped by 1, and then they lose to Korea, lose to Indonesia, lose to Korea, but then beat Indonesia 5-4.
Yeah.
And then I believe today they will face off against China, and then they've got another game after that against Thailand. So about halfway through and pick up our first win on day 3.
Do we have a chance to get to Williams-Bunkport town?
Yeah, we do if we keep winning. And, and we, we do what we need to do to qualify. It's going to be tough because, as me and Mike have talked about, Korea is a very, very difficult team to beat. But they're hanging it. China and Thailand. They can be tough. Just depends. Taking care of Indonesia and almost beating the Philippines is a good sign.
Concur.
Just for the record, those in the Philippines use PI to mean something completely different.
Right. Well, I've become pretty careful about the use of that.
Yeah.
Because I've found there are people that they're okay with it. Where are you going? I'm going to the PI. And then there's people that say, no. That's not how we refer to our country as. We are an actual country. And
so what does the PI mean?
Well, it was the President Duterte's favorite phrase.
Huh? Oh, I know that one. I can't know. I know it. I should be able to say it because it's not dirty words in English.
Yeah, but we have enough people that would
understand
it.
Oh, yeah, completely. Yeah, there's probably a couple listening right now saying he's not going to do it. He's not going to do it. Oh my God, he did it. Yeah, it's the same as the Chamorro phrase, "Charanananmo." It's there, and I know I can't get in trouble for that. At least I don't think I can. We'll find out. Anyway, 8:20. Push the envelope here, guys. 8:26. Is there now? How far away from football season? I saw a thing yesterday from GSPN online, and it was a picture of that big football player that comes around every once in a while.
Zach Banner.
Zach Banner.
Yeah,
and there was a number attached to it, like the number of days away from football.
So the reason they use Zach Banner because his number is 72. There are 72 days.
Oh, clever!
see what they did there?
Yes, well, I like that.
So 72. And if those listening didn't know Zach Banner's number, his number's 72. 72 days till the NFL season. I know everybody's ready. So I think training camp started in about a month. About this time.
Yeah, July.
Yeah, this
Mid-July.
time next month, a lot of the teams will be headed off to their respective training camps and. Should be good.
All right, how about NBA MVP, young man from Milwaukee?
Yes, the Greek freak, as he is known, Giannis. And I always get his name wrong. Not that I get it wrong, I don't know it.
I didn't even try. I looked at it and I was like, "It's the
Giannis Antetokounmpo."
Bless you.
Yeah, Giannis Antetokounmpo. Of course.
Did you just say it differently?
Of Greece, yes. But he's been he is a European player from obviously Greece. He spent some time.
That is a trick, saying it twice the same way in a row. Yeah.
Yeah. He edged out your boy down from Houston, James Harden, to win the MVP for the NBA, and the Rockets were a little salty on Twitter.
Yeah, Harden had a phenomenal year, but he's a flopper. We all know he is, and. That Rockets team is in bad shape with D'Antoni as the coach. D'Antoni will never win a ring with his style of coaching play. That's not going to happen.
Uncle Robert's online, so we got to say something nice about what's his team, the Dodgers?
Oh, is that his team?
And they're in a good place. They're number 1 or 2 in the power rankings last week?
Whatever the LA team is.
Yeah,
you know what? What's going to be interesting, too, just pertaining to the Dodgers, is Players Weekend, I think, is coming up this weekend. And I'm bringing it up because baseball is very traditional. And Players Weekend, I think this is the third year between the Players Union and Major League Baseball where they've worked it out. Players Weekend, they change all the uniforms, and the players get to put their nicknames on the back of uniforms. So, like, some people go, like Giancarlo Stanton, I think he's G. I think there's a guy on the Yankees named Red Thunder. Something like that. And for the first time, the reason I'm bringing it up, because the Yankees are going to L.A. to play the Dodgers for Players Weekend, and for the first time ever, the Yankees are wearing all black uniforms.
Oh, that's something else.
Wow. Never been done before. Huh. Ever. That's so be looking for that.
So if they were to use your nickname.
It's become Balake because of that that stupid Key and Peele skit where it's anybody named Aaron or Jacqueline. All Jacquelines are now Jay Quellen. All Denises are now D-Nice. All Blakes are Balakes. All Aarons are Aarons.
Oh, wow.
Come on, what's your nickname, Bo? Michael.
My nickname?
Yeah, besides Duke Sky Talker. It's not going to fit on a shirt.
I can't say it on the radio.
Mine is Snuggle Up a Butt.
What? Nice. What is that?
Snuggle up a butt.
You don't want to know.
I was going to say, I'm not sure you should have shared that.
Another one of those stories. Nick Pulaski says, "Hey, Blake, Zach Banner is still a Stiller."
Steeler, for those that don't speak Pittsburghese.
Who said he wasn't?
He said, I don't know.
I know he's a Steeler. The picture I'm looking at with him in 72 more days till the NFL
maybe you
season.
said Steeler, and Nick is trying to correct you and saying in Pittsburgh it would be pronounced Stiller.
Oh.
As in the Pittsburgh Steelers. Manami signs in, says, still here. Thank you guys for all the support. Incomplete femoral neck stress fracture on the left leg. Will be back. Give me 3 months. Catch me swimming, biking, strength training, and aqua jogging.
Catch her outside. How about
As
that?
it catch me outside. She
How
says.
about that?
Yeah. So I'm glad. It sounds like there could be some borderline pain on
femoral fracture. Come on, that's the biggest bone of your body. Number one. And it takes quite a bit of torque on something to fracture it in any sort of way. I'm guessing maybe it's a fracture near the joint because of the impact and the running. That's why I don't run, man, because I'm just at my age, it'll just completely kill my legs.
Yeah, it probably will. But
I mean, given the fact that I was young and played a lot of sports too.
But the important thing is she, unlike me, when I was first injured, I'd go, good, I wanted the vacation anyway. But Manami is still out there and still maintaining the cardio and the working out, swimming, biking, strength training, and aqua jogging. And for those of you aqua jogging, if you are worried about stress on your legs and your knees and your hips and all of that stuff, start with aqua jogging because you get the same kind of cardio. They tell me the same kind of cardio stress, but you don't get it's extremely low, super minimal impact.
Yeah, otherwise known as swimming.
No, aqua jogging. You go in the water and they put these floaties on you. Oh, you know what it is. Okay.
It just seems like you might as well swim.
Okay, I'm hating you right now. I'm kidding. Like Rory was on the phone with you in the last hour. Kevin, it's all right. Listen, 8:31 in the morning. I got Dwayne Powell is as in who you're going to call going to be in the studio in a couple of minutes. He's got a golf tournament thing coming up, and that's kind of sports related. So we'll get into there with that. And just a note here from Kaz Endo, who knows that this part of the program is only where we pretend to talk about sports. Netflix documentary he's recommending: Bob Dylan's Rollin' Thunder Review.
I have heard good things about that. It's actually on. I added it to my list. I think maybe over the weekend. So I like Bob. You like Bob Dylan?
No, I think he's overrated. What?
Not even early Bob Dylan. Like the early stuff is all right? No.
Well, the later stuff is great.
It's good.
Oh yeah.
You don't think his voice? You think his voice still holds up?
It's got more character.
Yeah,
now.
I know.
His voice certainly has a lot of character. I think it's an overrated character. But and I'm not just saying that to tick off his fans. I was never really a big fan of his. There's the Elton John biopic I told you about the other day. I got to figure out how I can get what was the Queen one.
Oh, Bohemian
Rhapsody, right?
Yeah,
that show I really want to watch. And then there's a few other characters out there whose music I feel I identify with a little bit more. I was disappointed a couple of years ago they did a thing on Hendrix, and that just felt a little too Hollywood to me.
Have you seen the two movies that are out now? The one about Bruce Springsteen and the one about the Beatles? I think the one about the Beatles is called Yesterday, where it's a guy, a singer-songwriter in England somewhere, wakes up basically one day, and the Beatles
never existed.
But only he knows that the Beatles existed. Then there's another one where a kid in India, the Bruce Springsteen movie, where a kid in India, I guess, somehow ends up listening to a Bruce Springsteen song, and then the whole movie's about him kind of going to see Bruce. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, it's out. It's out in theaters now.
There are all kinds of stuff out there, and if you're binging on something that you think we need to be talking about on the radio, 888-8255. You can share it with me on WhatsApp, 988-5874, or use the actual phone. You call and say hello. Anyway, so that's all you got?
Just wanted to say this. So I'm wearing my shirt. My mom sent me this. Very, very cool. If you can see it.
I see it.
Today is Bourdain Day. Would have been Bourdain's 63rd birthday. So happy Bourdain Day to everybody.
We were supposed to. Stuff came up. It's TC's birthday today. Happy birthday, Trish. But what we were originally thinking we were going to have a Bourdain dinner. And the concept behind, and you still can. Yeah. You still can.
Today is Bourdain Day, so you can enjoy all day.
Yeah, call up your friends and hook up tonight. The idea behind our Bourdain Day dinner is Anthony Bourdain is still alive. He's called you up. He says, I'm coming over to the house. Cook something for me. So what would you cook for Anthony Bourdain? That's the question.
You know what Anthony Bourdain actually liked? You know what he was a fan of when he went to, I think it's his Philippines episode? He went and ate at Jollibee over in Philippines, had the chicken joy and the spaghetti and liked it.
Can't say I would just pop in a TV dinner, one of those barbecue ones.
And do you want yours with or without Tabasco? It's 8:35 or so. Headlines with Kevin Kerrigan coming up next.
Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959, and they'll continue to be there for you in the years to come. Whether you're looking to get a personal loan for that summer vacation or paying off those long overdue bills, Family Finance has got you covered. Apply for a personal loan from $1,000 up to $3,600 by calling Family Finance in Agutya at 475-4545, Upper Tumon at 647-5626, or in Dededo, 633-4473. Family Finance, serving the people of Guam since 1959.
Oh, that's nice. Manami Online says, sent me a direct message. Says, thanks, Ray. Hope your running is going well. I got some treadmill running in while I was in Singapore, and so in the next couple of days, hopefully I'll be able to get some time to go out and actually hit some real pavement. And then more towards one of the other conversations that Manami and I have is we wear the same size shorts. And so she's got these butt hugger shorts that she wears every once in a while. I've got a pair of I've got several butt hugger shorts that I wear as well. So we like to make comparisons. Anyway, so I bought some new butt hugger shorts while I was doing some traveling. So you got that to look forward to when we do run. 8:36 headlines now from the Guam Daily Post. Here's Kevin Kerrigan.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. And the headlines from the Guam Daily Post this morning. Guam Federation of Teachers Union Representative Robert Koss has written to Governor Lou Leon Guerrero maintaining that fired State Historic Preservation Officer Linda Uggan is still the SHPO. Department of Parks and Rec Director Richard Ibanez fired Uggan last week. Koss is representing Uggan, who has appealed to the Civil Service Commission. In his letter to the governor, Koss wrote that because Uggan has appealed her dismissal to the CSC, she shall remain the incumbent Guam State Historic Preservation Officer, and that position shall not be filled, and the state designation shall not be reassigned until the exhaustion of her appeal. Koss also has questioned the authority of Ibanez to fire Uggan, saying the authority to hire and fire a director rests solely with the Parks and Recreation Commission, and that commission has not been appointed or approved by the legislature. Republican Senator James Moylan doesn't support Senator San Augustine's recent proposal to tax online purchases. The senator says Bill 166-35 would continue the recent trend of increasing taxes and fees. In a news release yesterday, Moylan said an online tax would, in theory, level the playing field for local businesses that pay retail taxes, but he said tax increases should not be considered until GovGuam displays fiscal responsibility in their own spending habits. 38-year-old Kek Ludwig wants to be released from prison on probation while he awaits trial. He appeared for a bail hearing yesterday before Superior Court Judge Arthur Barcinas. He's accused of attacking another man who was barbecuing outside of his Tamuning home last month. According to the magistrate complaint, Ludwig jumped out of a pickup truck, threatened the man with a fishing spear. He then threw several beer bottles at the man, according to the report, and then several others pulled him back into the pickup, which sped away. The pickup, however, returned. Ludwig jumped back out, started to threaten the man with nunchucks. Another man then threw the fishing spear at the victim, which struck the man in the arm. Ludwig chased after the man towards the Oka Payless, stopping only after the victim took the spear out of his arm and threw it back at Ludwig. Probation officer told the court they continue to interview potential third-party custodians who would be responsible for Ludwig if he is granted pretrial release. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post.
Like I said, there's not one member of his family that says we want this guy around. No, you guys, you keep him in the jail. He needs to learn his lesson here. 8:39 in the morning. That's Kevin Kerrigan with the news, and that's iConnect time. Swing by an iConnect and learn about some great packages and plans that they've got for you. See you all the way through the year without spending a whole lot of money. 888-8888.
Travel the world and then some with the 2 million United Mile sweepstakes from First Hawaiian Bank. Enter and you could win the grand prize of 1 million miles or be one of 6 other lucky winners. The world is big. Our prize is bigger. Enter at fhb.com/2 million miles. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited. Sweepstakes starts on May 1st and ends June 30th, 2019. Open to legal residents of Guam and CNMI. Ages 18 years or older. Visit 2millionmiles.com for official rules. First Hawaiian Bank. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
Portions of the program here brought to you by my pals over at Wendy's. Upgrade from basic with 3 new sandwiches on their made-to-crave menu. These feature chicken. How about, we're going to need the sound effect here for the sauce and bacon chicken sandwich, the barbecue chicken sandwich, and the avocado BLT chicken sandwich. So you got the savory flavor of the bacon, then you go in and you almost get this buttery green flavor from the avocado, and you hardly even notice there's a chicken in there in that sandwich. You got to try it. They've got you all over the place with your favorite foods over at Wendy's.
When your family needs medical care, how often do you find the need to visit multiple clinics? When a child has a serious ailment, do you find yourself meeting a medical provider only to learn you must go somewhere else for testing? At the FHP Health Center, you can find multiple specialties and testing services under one roof. And if your family needs urgent care, FHP is there for you with convenient weekday, evening, and weekend hours. Voted the island's best clinic and Pika's best 2 years in a row. FHP, our island, your clinic. Learn more at fhpguam.com.
Traffic gizmo time. Is there any traffic out there? Might be a little bit. Some roads could be wet near you right now, so watch out for that. Could be a couple of lights in blink mode. Watch out for that. But I'm not seeing too much happening on the road right now. Some of the usual spots, 1 and 3, a little bit busy. Most of the intersections up and down Route 16 you're going to see some delays through there. 10 and 15, a little bit busy right now. But once you get past the downtown Agutney area, say if you're headed down to Big Navy, only thing that's going to slow you down might be some construction over at Polaris Point going on. Remind me before the end of the show to talk about what's going to be actually happening at Polaris Point on the 4th of July. Lots and lots of activities going to be taking place, so you want to learn about that. And this might be the only place that you will. In 20 minutes, it's 9 o'clock. That's right now traffic on the Point.
Hey, it's Mom. Somebody forgot to thaw the chicken, so meet us at Chili's for 2 for $25. Oh, and congratulate your sister for making the basketball team. She's thrilled. Love you. See you at Chili's.
Enjoy 2 full meal combos for $25. An appetizer, 2 mouth-watering entrees like our crispy chicken breast, smoked barbecue quarter leg, or smoked jalapeno cheddar sausage. Served with corn on the cob and french fries. 2 bold combos for $25. A full-on meal deal available nightly for a limited time. Together, we Chili's.
From 9 o'clock in the morning, 888-8255, 888-TALK is the phone number. You can WhatsApp me here because we are in love with technology and know how to use it for the forces of goodness. Can you imagine? Can you imagine just what we could get away with if we were evil people, given the mountain to tower of technology that we have?
Well, you were gone for a week, and you have no idea what I was up to.
There's that, isn't there? 988-5874. If you want to do that, we are Facebook friendly around here. Facebook Live ongoing, and as I said, we got my friends Manami, and Manami is convincing me here that it's nice that I bought some new shorts while I was traveling, but I need to go shopping with her so I can buy different kinds of shorts. And she wants me, my friend Dwayne Powell's in the studio, by the way.
Hi, everybody.
And she wants me to go shopping with her in the women's section at like Nike.
Yeah, do they look like golf shorts?
Okay, so
swimming shorts, jogging shorts.
Like running shorts.
Just
they've
cool
got these,
shorts.
Yeah, they've got shorts there.
Well, you're a cool guy.
Well, I know. I'm just wondering if can I pull it off here? Is it because I don't know because there are some athletic clothes that are unisex, right? A boy can wear it, girl can wear it.
Right.
I don't know that the same is true about girls' shorts, girls' running shorts, because guys' running shorts come with these little. They're almost they're almost
too short.
They're manties. They come. There's a little
short shorts.
there's a liner. There's like a mantis liner in guys' running shorts, and I'm not sure if it's the same in girls. And
so does she want to go with you, or she wants you to go with her so you can buy her shorts, or she wants you to buy shorts in her section?
Not entirely sure. I'll see if I can get a response from her. Now that we're talking
she's
about
pretty
it so
awesome.
much.
Like we were talking about, our kids go to the adventure camp together, which is really cool.
Oh, I have not caught up on all of the activities for this summer. So, my daughter, your son, in the same place over at so now what's his favorite part about it, besides getting to hang out with my daughter?
That's pretty cool. Actually, it's probably making the friends. You know, when you go to school, you see the same people day in, day out, and you've got your best friends. But during the summer, it's a great time to meet a whole bunch of kids from different places.
Yes.
And that's a big deal.
Yeah. No, I agree with you completely, and it's funny. For the rest of their lives, they might be in separate orbits, but every once in a while, like you know, planets, they might come into the same alignment and go, yeah, I remember you from summer camp. And
Absolutely.
All that. Dwayne is in the studio.
Hi, everybody.
Dwayne, it's Paul, right?
Yeah, Paul.
Okay,
Dwayne Paul. Who are you going to call?
So he real estate guy here on Guam, and one of I've got to say, you know, we talk about social media because it's something that everybody now has, but that wasn't always the case. We didn't, you know, Facebook and Instagram and Snapchat,
Twitter,
didn't always used to be
Tumblr.
Yeah, it's everywhere now, and you were among the first guys that made a connection between social media and being able to get your name, your image, your logo phrase, who are you going to call, and get that out. So how's that adventure been working out for you?
You know, for me, it's just so much fun. Like, it's not like it's working. It's like you being on the radio. I mean, you're just so good at what you do, right?
Well, it's a continuation. It means when I use social media, because it allows me, obviously, to, you know, post pictures of me standing next to pretty girls. That's very important. But it also helps me continue a conversation. So if I'm in a conversation of, you know, on the radio talking about minimum wage or talking about carpetbaggers or whatever it is, I can continue that conversation on the air, on Facebook Live, or on the Facebook and the social medias. But the other part of it is I don't see everything that goes on in Guam. The newspapers and the newscast do a pretty good job of finding out what people are talking about, what's important, but it's not all of it. There's plenty that bubbles up in the surface of social media that becomes stories and conversations that I can have. So for me, that's the circle of social media, and that's how I like to participate in it. But you actually, you know, you use it to help you buy and sell houses.
I do. You know, one of the beauties of, let's say, Facebook for sure is that there's a lot of families that just don't live on Guam. And often when there's a passing in the family and they get interest to property, whether it's a building, whether it's land, whether it's a condominium, they don't even know. They've never even been to Guam, or they've been to Guam, or they left them when they were kids. Yeah. So I'm very easy to reach through Facebook. I'm out there all the time, and the messaging capabilities are instantaneous. So email, I'll get it. I might look at it a little bit later, but I'll tell you what, when somebody says, Dwayne, we need help selling our home, Dwayne, we need help buying a home, I can get back to him immediately.
Well, and we've all got our Facebook Messenger open. It's WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, and I can go, and I hate to say it because there's people that send me emails like I'm going to read them all the time. Email is now like the fax machine to me.
Yeah, man.
I might get to it today. I'll star it and I'll see. You know, it's good if you want to send me bigger attachments or something else. But for the most part,
I use WhatsApp.
Yeah, I don't use a whole lot of email anymore for its intended purpose. My go-to messaging format is Messenger and WhatsApp.
Absolutely.
And anymore Facebook Messenger, because that's where everybody is. We all communicate. In fact, it was the other day that we used Facebook Messenger. Dwayne wanted to get on the radio and talk about a golf tournament, so we might as well do some of that.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I know we're just in here talking.
Well, but we'll get, because
WhatsApp can actually lead into that. Like, we have charity group, we have our soccer parents, we have our school group, so WhatsApp does allow communication between groups so much easier. And I want to thank you, and I want to thank everybody here for allowing me to come out and talk about our 4th annual charity golf tournament. I represent the club Out of Bounds. Isn't that funny? I need to hear somebody laugh.
Well, I didn't know you golfed.
I do. Yeah, I try to golf at least once a week. No, but it's fun. Hence the name Out of Bounds.
Right. OB.
OB is what it's called. But, you know, we group of guys get together and try to golf at least once a week if we can. And once a year we get together and we host a charity golf tournament. It's actually a Stableford type tournament. And we're just out there trying to give awareness, raise funds, for ACT, which is Autism Community Together. Do you know Miss Jill Blas?
Yeah.
Yeah, so she's an awesome person. Her son is autistic. She leads an amazing group of people or parents that have children that are autistic. So we like to raise awareness for them. That's what this tournament's all about.
Well, it's an outstanding group, and we've been big supporters for as long as...
Good, we need players.
Well, I don't know. No, you don't want me to. You don't want me to.
Sure, we do.
No,
Out of Bounds.
We'll finish at midnight.
$500.
We will finish at midnight.
Awesome food, awesome prizes. One of the coolest things that we do every year. And this is Bill. I got to send a shout out. Bill Mayfield. We provide full-on pineapples in our ditty bags. Like, who can say that? Who gets a full-on pineapple? And we also give away a pig. So we have amazing prizes, you know, trips and golf bags and just so many different things.
Do I have to get low net in order to get the trips?
No, actually, Stableford is almost the opposite. Where in a normal tournament you want to get the lowest score.
Yeah.
In Stableford you get points for scoring well. So, for example, if you double bogey, well, you don't get any points. So you might as well just pick up your ball. So what helps is it speeds up play. It keeps everybody moving. You know, 140, 150 players.
Yeah.
But if you get a bogey, you get a point. If you get a par, you get 2. If you get birdie, you get 3. So at the end of the round, it's whoever has the most tournaments. Now, this is a 4-man Stableford. So at the end of the round, it's the top 3 scores. You drop off the worst score of your group. So it's really cool, actually. And we're playing, it starts July 6th. Awesome prizes.
It feels like grading on the curve. I need to learn more about that. So we're not actually counting strokes.
You're not counting strokes. You get points for your score. That's correct.
You're counting strokes for the hole. So X number of points for a birdie, X number of points for an eagle. All right, I got it.
Yeah,
I got it. So
it's really cool.
Yeah. So the numbers would be completely different.
You know, it speeds up play because once you get to that double bogey stage, you just pick up the ball.
Keep moving.
And it actually, what it does is you know, if you have 1 or 2 bad holes, you get pretty frustrated and you almost want to quit.
But you can make it up on.
You can.
Yeah.
And
So
Stableford was almost created for players that have 1 or 2 bad holes. It's like, come on, guys, it's a team, and it's the top 3. And we need players. You know, we've got amazing sponsors, hole sponsors, giveaways. Oh, sweet, really?
Yeah.
Well, our hole-in-one sponsors, I'd always like to give a big shout-out to Derek over at AutoSpot. So we've got a Buick, I think it's not the Encore, I believe, 2019 hole-in-one prize, which is just cool. Wouldn't that be awesome to win a car? Royal Bix, always an amazing hole-in-one sponsor, and 76 Circle K. And just a special shout out to PDN because they always represent and put our ads out there for us.
No, I'm always glad to help, and as we are here at the radio station.
Thank you
How do
very
people
much.
sign up?
They give me a call at 689-7777, which is real easy. That's my phone number. Or you can email me at Duane, that's Duane, at guamhome.com. That'd be so cool. Or Messenger.
Just find
Facebook.
Messenger. He's on Facebook.
Who are you going to call?
Yeah, it's a familiar voice, familiar face, and it's easy to. How much you say to sign up?
It is a team of 4, and it's $125 a player.
So $500 for everybody.
Correct.
Okay.
On the 6th of July, starts Golf Resort. Lots of prizes.
Love starts.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
And we've got lots of room. So
what's the name of the guy that works? Is it Ben?
You mean the starter?
Yeah, no, the guy at Starts. He's in charge of everything down there.
I'm not sure.
It's been a while since I've been over there, but it's one of
Hope
those
he's
things.
not watching.
Yeah, but
or listening.
it's like if you're doing a golf tournament, and you know if you got 50 and 100 things lined up, and there's people trying to get into carts and stuff, he's the guy that you want to look for because he knows how to straighten out messes.
It is chaos.
Yeah.
When you've got 160 guys all getting ready to start and all pumped up and getting their food and getting their drinks.
So for planning again, because I might have missed this, when is the tournament?
July 6th.
July 6th.
Starts golf
so not
tournament.
This weekend next.
10 a.m. show, 12 p.m. go. We're going to have our tournament, and then we're going to have an after award ceremony and banquet with lots of food and just lots of giveaways. Come on over and raise some awareness for autism community together. We really appreciate it.
Not a problem. Dwayne Paul in the studio, 8:52. While we got some time here, I wanted to see if we could touch on a couple of other things, unrelated to social media, and you can throw in the golf thing and before we go again.
Okay.
But how's the real estate business?
You know, what's beautiful about real estate is good market, bad market, seller's market, buyer's market. Yeah. I'm in the middle of it.
Yeah.
So for me, it's always exciting. As long as I can help people. Like, I have an assistant. Her name is Trinity. Trinity, if you're listening, hi. And yesterday was her...
This video on demand. She can be listening to this tomorrow and hear the message.
Good point. Her first move-in inspection was yesterday. And so when we gave the keys to the tenant, and he had just moved here. He's a contractor, $1,200 a month budget.
Oh, carpetbagger.
Awesome 2-bedroom rental. And when I gave him the keys and he just smiled, damn, that's what it's about. Yeah, it really is. So whether you're buying or selling, it's the smile. That's for me for sure.
What's the toughest part for you? I mean, is it there is a process in everything, and for finding the guy the house, get him to the point where he could get the key. What were the 1,000 steps that you took?
In a different, so one of the challenges for sure, maybe not in renting, because actually inventories are quite high, even though prices are a little high as well, is when people give properties, when they gift properties, or when they give properties to their children as they get older, they're giving properties in undivided interest. And so what happens is, let's say you have 3 or 4 siblings and you get 1 acre of land.
Yeah.
Well, great. There's 4 of you, so you each own a corner. But which corner do you really own? Do you own the top? Do you own the bottom? Do you have the view? Who's closest to utilities? So for all those folks out there listening, if you're going to deed or gift property to your family members, make sure they know what they're getting. Don't do it in undivided interest. It's the worst thing that can happen.
Right.
It really is.
All right. Now, is it fairly easy to, we got the security title. I'm sure
Right.
you got friends at Ron and
Well,
Kim and everything.
Security Title, they're one of our gold sponsors.
There.
Hey, Ron.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
So
He's a golfer.
for something like that, I mean, do you ever are you when you go to them and you say, okay, we've got some questions on title here?
Yeah.
I mean, that comes up frequently.
Yeah. In fact, just a few days ago, I was with Miss Leah Dunka, one of their senior escrow officers. And, we'll go in there with their title department. The escrow officer will sit down. We'll look at the history of title all the way to the beginning, and we'll try to figure it out. And security title rocks. I mean, they really do.
But have you ever run into something where somebody says, yeah, this is my property, I can sell it, I got all the paperwork, here's the deeds and everything, and get ready to transfer it over to you, and then after you sit down with Ron and Kim and Leo over at Security Title, say,
They didn't own this.
That guy doesn't own that property. It's
We
his
tried to do
cousin.
as much research prior to that point. I can't say that that's ever happened. I can say, though, that we've gotten to the closing table and the buyer has said, I'm so excited. I'm about to buy that house. And the rest of us are looking at each other and we're thinking it's this house. So it had similar legal descriptions. It had the same physical address. They were actually buying this one, but we thought they were buying this one. So it didn't happen, but it does happen, I suppose.
Yeah. So, question I get, and I'm living in Mongmong Totomaiti area, and there, it's got the nice house over here, and then there's over there it might be an abandoned house, and there's I've got just a little bit of that flipper guy mentality in my head, going, you know what, maybe I could just buy that house, stick about $25,000-$30,000, do a refurb on it, and then rent it out to a Navy guy, a Navy family. But it comes down to how do I know how I can get my hands into that property? Who does the research on something like that? I mean, can you just go up and look at an address, Ray Sanchez Street up in Mongmong, and take it to somebody and say, find out who owns that?
I mean, I suppose the first step would be, okay, so you know where you live, and you've got a full-size property map of your location. So generally, around your location, they'll have other properties, right? Bordering. So if you can get the legal description of that property, and then you can use that legal description to go to Security Title, let's say, get the name and address of the current owner of that property, whether it be a bank, whether it be a family or an individual. Then you go to the tax roll. Tax roll information is public information. It's not easy, but you get the name and number, maybe a mailing address, and you find them out and you say, hey, did you know you own this house?
Yeah.
By the way, I'd like to buy it. So there are ways. It's not easy. You could always call me, and I can help for sure.
So what's sexy out there?
Real estate?
Yeah. No, I mean, there's the house that you
Or
want to
short
move the
pants.
most. Short pants are always sexy, and you might be saying, no, you shouldn't wear those, and I say, forget it. The courage is always rewarded, so go for it. But I mean, sexy properties. I mean, is there like the Landmark Center, right down the street?
Yeah.
I mean, they're just like everybody wants to move in. I got GTA's there, there's an Infusion there, Bond Insurance is in there.
Right.
So I'm going, okay, we're sexying up retail spaces now. That's nice.
I think what we're most excited about is probably residential building. We've had such a challenge over the last 3-4 years, and prices have just gone up because nobody's building because we don't have anybody that'll build them.
Well, then it's expensive. Parts and materials are expensive.
Materials have gone up 25%. It's hard to find labor. We all know the challenges, but we do know of some subdivisions, northern areas, southern areas, that are coming. And once we get those new houses, I think it's going to be good for the market. It's going to be good for buyers, and it's really good for Guam.
Okay, but now will it be good for sellers? I mean, as these new developments come up, are people that are holding onto their properties, waiting for that military buildup dough to come in? Will it backfire on them?
I think there's so much room in the market, and I think we're all so excited. At least most of us are for this buildup. I think everybody's going to benefit. I really do, and we need houses. I mean, I have 3-4 sets of buyers right now. I can't find them a house. And that's the worst thing in my job is when I can't find them a property they want. Like, for example, I've got one set of buyers, and they want to live in Agana Heights. Their kids go to school in Agana. We're looking at homes in Jigo. I mean, even though it's only a 20-minute drive, people in the mainland are like, really? 20 minutes? Are you kidding me?
Not for me. I don't want to get into
But when you live here, 20 minutes is forever.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So so we need inventory. For those of you out there thinking of selling, who are you going to call?
Dwayne, you can find him at 689-7777 or online at Facebook Live and go check the guy out.
Tournament.
You'll leave the paperwork here, and I'll mention it a couple of times. It's at 9 o'clock in the morning. Public Auditor B.J. Cruz is going to be on the radio with us in just a few minutes. I think that's going to be fun. Fox News Live is coming up next. No, not a problem. It's always great to you come back here anytime you want to, and we'll talk about real estate. We'll talk about autism community. We'll talk about whatever you dig.
Awesome.
I think it'll be fun.
Thank you, everybody.
So anyway, Fox News Live coming up next. Stick around, bro.
Pressure on. I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. President Trump calling on Congress to pass a bill that would include funding to stem the crisis at the border.
Majority Leader Mitch McConnell says the Senate will get it done this week and accused Democratic Leader Chuck Schumer of stalling.
I am rather surprised that the Democratic leader seems to be willing to do that, but not until Friday. And it's obvious that he feels the need to shut the Senate down, in effect, for a couple of days. In order to accommodate all the members of his conference who are running for president.
New York Democrat Congressman Hakeem Jeffries spoke about the need for lawmakers to get this done.
There are children who are being held in unspeakable conditions. These are God's children.
On Capitol Hill, Mike Emanuel, Fox News.
Two officials say the acting director of U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement will take over as head of Border Patrol. The officials tell the Associated Press Mark Morgan will become acting CBP commissioner hours after the resignation of John Sanders. The officials were not authorized to speak publicly about the move. Another change in the administration with a new press secretary named.
Stephanie Grisham is going to be replacing the outgoing press secretary, Sarah Huckabee Sanders. And, you know, Stephanie Grisham is somebody who has really earned a lot of trust in both the East Wing and the West Wing. She started out working for the campaign in 2015. Then she went on to become Sean Spicer's deputy in the very early days of the Trump administration before moving to the East Wing, where she really developed a reputation for being a fierce defender of the First Lady.
Fox's Kristen Fisher at the White House. Sarah Sanders announced that she was leaving last week. San Francisco, now the first major city in the U.S. to ban the sale of e-cigarettes. The city's Board of Supervisors banning the sale and distribution of the products until they have FDA approval. This is Fox News.
Discover a new galaxy. GTA introduces the new Samsung Galaxy S10 in 3 different sizes. The Galaxy S10 comes with cool new features like Power Share that allows you the ability to share your battery power with other devices. Or you can capture a wider world with its new camera featuring an ultra-wide lens for when you need to take pictures of the whole family. And with GTA handset payment option, you can take home a Galaxy S10 for $0 down. GTA, we start with you.
Your home is one of the most important investments you'll make in your life. At Nanbo Insurance, you can rest easy knowing that you're covered with reliable and affordable homeowners insurance. Nanbo makes it easy to protect what matters the most so you can enjoy the moments that matter the most. With Nanbo, you can also save big when you bundle up and insure your car, home, motorcycle, or business. Enjoy great savings up to 50%. Visit nanbo.com or call 477-9754 for more details.
New allegations against a congressman already facing criminal charges.
California Republican Duncan Hunter and his wife are charged with spending $200,000 of campaign cash on personal expenses. In a court filing this week, federal prosecutors say that includes the congressman using campaign donations to meet with lobbyists and congressional aides in intimate relationships. Prosecutors writing the sequence of romantic liaisons is so far removed from any legitimate campaign or congressional activity as to rebut any argument these were proper uses of campaign funds. Hunter's wife, Margaret Hunter, pleaded guilty earlier this month, agreeing to testify against her husband. The congressman says he's the target of politically motivated prosecutors. On Capitol Hill, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
The federal government investigating claims of poultry price fixing. Maple Vale Foods, based in Falconer, New York, accuses Tyson Foods, Purdue Farms, Pilgrim's Pride, and others of plotting to fix prices between 2008 and 2016. 2015, claiming the company shared information through a third-party data firm and restricted supply by destroying hens used for breeding. Sad news for family and fans of Dog the Bounty Hunter as his wife takes a turn for the worse.
Beth Chapman, who is currently in a medically induced coma, is not expected to recover and leave the hospital, according to TMZ. The Dog the Bounty Hunter star has been in an ongoing battle against stage 4 lung cancer. Family members, including her mother, are heading to the hospital in Hawaii to be by her side. She was hospitalized Saturday after experiencing difficulty breathing as well as choking. That's when the reality star was placed in a medically induced coma. Dog posted a picture of Beth's hands as she lay in her hospital bed with freshly painted nails with the caption, "Y'all know how she is about her nails." Michelle Polino, Fox News.
On Wall Street, the Dow lost 179. The Nasdaq fell 120. I'm Lisa Lacera. This is Fox News.
The Guy Benson Show will be back.
Regardless of your age, your eye health may be at significant risk from diabetes, cataracts, glaucoma, and retina problems. A comprehensive eye health exam is key to maintaining your precious gift of sight. Contact Island Eye Specialists to schedule an appointment today. That's 637-2020 or online at islandeyeguam.com. We accept Stay Well, Take Care, Cavo Select Care, and Netcare Health Insurance. Island Eye Specialists. We are your eye doctor.
GPSI Guam is a professional services company that is a registered contractor for the federal government. They're an SBA, 8A, and Hub Zone certified SDVOSB, providing program/project management, administration, technical support, logistics, and commodities. Find out more about GPSI and how they can help you today. For large prime companies, contact GPSI if you need assistance in meeting your small business subcontracting goals at 477-3058. They'll be happy to assist.
Hey, on the microphone, tell everybody to go up to Cars Plus in Mighty and take a couple of test drives. They've got the Charger that's going to be up there. And just a warning here, if you get behind the wheel of either the Charger or the Challenger, there's a very good chance that you won't give the keys back. It might be one of those things. We went vroom, vroom enough, and I'm keeping it. Thank you very much. Here's my last 2 checks, and just call me when it's time to sign a loan. And 1.99% APR. Can't go wrong. Cars Plus up in Mighty. Swing by the folks over at Ruby Tuesdays, where they've got some great specials for you. Starters, lunch, and dinners priced to please on brand new Ruby Tuesday favorites menu. Dips and wings. There's burgers and tacos, steaks and salmon, and those come with toppers, and there's plenty more. Available for a limited time at Ruby Tuesdays Guam. American President Lines is shipping the future, and there's never been a better time to go solar with the folks over at Micronesia Renewable Energy. Call them at 632-2613 for a free consultation about how we can get electricity and batteries into your home electrical power system.
I heard their new batteries are going to be made from electric eels.
Hey!
Real Talk Radio is back. Welcome to The Point, Guam's FM News Talk Superstation.
Just looking over something that wanted to take a look at some comments on a post that I did yesterday. It's me and Talia. I guess some people call her Talia. And one of the comments is Ray Gibson for governor, and Bennett Duenas is Ray for Republican senator. Yes, we'll go in there and hit them with the conservative logic. Yeah, we'll roll back the business privilege tax, but demand more by way of services from the government of Guam. And it's doable. There's a guy online who was getting into a little bit of a scrap with some of the other fellas with the Facebook Live because he said you can't really do that. You can't roll back the business privilege tax yet demand more of the government. And I'm going, yeah, I can. You should be able to do that. The possibility that there are places in the government of Guam that could use some kind of restructuring, reorganization. And I'm not the one that says that. There are people over at the legislature that have been saying that for some time. But we always choose to take the easiest path. We'll borrow money, or we'll increase a business privilege tax or something like that, as opposed to seeing if there's ways that we might be able to right-size or reorg the government or technology up the government. That, with automation systems, automation technology, information systems, that's where everything is going. But still, in most of the places in Gov Guam, we're talking about either outdated systems or completely manual systems. It doesn't need to be done that way. Online, I see Richard Young Ibanez is online. That's a familiar name to anybody that has been paying attention to some of the flap going on with the SHPO, which was a story that Kevin Kerrigan did in the last hour of the program, talking about Linda's lawyer, a guy named Bob Koss. He's good. Is rolling around saying, yeah, so Richard probably didn't have the authority to terminate Linda and her position as the SHPO. It's also possible it was the authority that Richard may or may not have, and the fact that an appeal has been made with the Civil Service Commission, which Koss believes will make Linda's place assured until either it expires or until the Civil Service Commission comes up with some kind of a ruling on that particular adverse action. So that's going to be interesting. I did ask Richard about that on Facebook Live, but he's not responding. Kenny Williams online. Happy belated anniversary to you and Mrs. I see Wayne Adelby is back. Pat Bumba. I got Evan Cohen is online. Dennis Bensour, my buddy. Nick Pulaski and Manami and Yuka and Brad and Renee and Uncle Robert and all kinds of other people online this morning. Is this Nino BJ? Nino BJ's online, and we call him that around the house because he is my nephew RD's actual fairy godfather. Paige, how you doing there?
Fine, thank you.
It's always nice to talk to you, and it's Mia's birthday today, just FYI.
It is.
Yeah, sweet 16.
I thought Shelley took her to the States for her birthday.
You know what? You know how we are. You know how we are in the family. It's the entire month.
All month.
Yeah, it's the entire month, and I wore out my welcome at all kinds of places in May as I was celebrating my birthday for the month. So we're teaching her how to do it early, buddy. So
when you get to my age, you pretend it didn't happen.
No, I'm not gonna. Let me just stay in the personal realm here for just a second with Nino Beach. I saw a picture of you at on the Pride Parade a couple of weeks ago, and it looks like you've been back in the gym.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so. It's one thing to age, and think about some of your classmates dead because and not taking good care of themselves. But you're not looking bad for your age.
Well, I'm trying.
No, whatever you're doing, like I said, I think it works. You're looking a whole lot better these days. So just that's out there. I know there's people just gagging on the radio right now. Look, we're friends. What can I say? BJ is also the public auditor of Guam and calling from the Office of Public Accountability, where you just did the review, the audit of the 2018 numbers for the government of Guam.
Yes, we did.
So my conclusions is $10 million deficit ain't bad, but it could have been a whole lot worse.
Yes, it could have been a whole lot worse had it not been for the fiscal realignment plan, had it not been for the amnesty, and had it not been for the tax increase. We would have been in a world of hurt.
Well, there being some people would consider it already was in a world of hurt. As you know, we take a look at some of the things that we learned about 2018. Some of it was in 18, some of it is subsequent to it. But the number of special funds that were raided in order to keep that deficit down.
That was in 17.
Did we not have raiding in 18 as well?
Not as much as 17.
Right?
Yeah, Mr. Burns was really he got burned quick, and so he was real careful about not rating as much.
Right. Now, let's take a look at something else. You're talking about $29 million that came in from the tax amnesty program. Had it not been for them making that dramatic step at the Department of Revenue and Taxation, then the deficit would have been $39 million as opposed to just the 10 that we were able to come out with, correct?
Possibly, yes.
Oh, okay, so we got that. But now, how is that? There's a wash on that. So we got $29 million in revenue, but we gave up $29 million, $30 million in fees and penalties, right? I mean, does that factor at all?
Well, We didn't. It wasn't in the audit. We didn't include that. You mean the interest and penalties?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I mean, we could have insisted that we get the interest and penalties, but get paid at $25 a month and not receive anything.
Right, right. Well, I mean, that's always the risk with an amnesty program.
Yeah, it really is difficult. I mean, you know, some decisions have to be made to take the losses that we can and try to help ourselves.
But the lesson to me is that that's the cost of our inaction, or if you want to, incompetence or our incapabilities. It cost us now $29 million to get $29 million in revenue to keep the island afloat, as opposed to we could have been making that money in real time, and had we done some decent enforcement over the years.
That's questionable, because some of those companies just didn't have the money to be able to make the payments in time, and had they been forced to, might have closed.
You'll correct me on the dates, because I don't recall whether it took place in 2017 or 2018. But the settlement for the tobacco taxes. Was it $13-14 million?
That was done in January. Well, no, I think actually it was July of 17, but we didn't find out about it until January of 18.
Of 2018. All right, so that did not contribute to the deficit of 2018 that we're talking about here in this report.
That was, yes, it contributed to the deficit in all the previous years, because the $5 million that wasn't being collected every year for those, or the $3 million, whatever they admitted to.
So the cumulative deficit it has contributed to that.
Yes.
What are the other takeaways in this audit?
You know, when it comes to this one, it's just everything else that's included in there. There really isn't. I mean, it shows that when we want to, and we have a fiscal realignment plan, and we want to cut back, we can come back. Can come back. But I think the other thing that has to also be noted is that, unfortunately, some of the agencies that we shouldn't have or shouldn't have suffered as much did. This deficit would have been worse, but for the fact that we shorted GDOE, UOG, and GCC.
Right.
Even if we had all the money. But unfortunately, they've been left holding the bag. They've suffered more than anybody else.
What does it say about the prior administration's policy of holding back allotments, or not giving departments and agencies their full allotments? I mean, there's the appropriations that are done by the legislature, but when it finally gets in the hands of the administrators, you know, we'll give you 90 cents on the dollar base of what the appropriations were. Is that a continuing policy?
It's their fiscal management. It's their money management, and that, fortunately, unfortunately, is in the realm of the executive, and any attempt by the legislature to try to change it otherwise.
We saw what happened in some of those attempts that made it through in the budget bill, but unenforceable.
Some with good opinions and some with really unfounded opinions.
Are we talking about the ones where departments and agencies aren't supposed to be pulling in deputy directors and things like that?
Oh well, yeah, because that's all the positions in government are supposed to be classified, and I can't remember the exact statute. I think it's 4206, but anyway, there is a statute where we specifically, in 26 or 27 different subsections, grant certain agencies the ability to be able to hire a deputy. I mean, the legislature did, and so it's not a right of the executive to have the deputies. The deputies are created by statute and given to the executive, and not all of them can and should have them or were given them. I mean, you remember with Doris how many years she wanted to get a deputy.
Yeah.
And,
don't have the administrative authority to do it.
There was no statutory authority to do it. Finally, it was given to her, and she did. But the thing is that it's a creation of the legislature. And when the legislature, I should stop saying we, when the legislature decided that it was going to put a halt on it, there should have been a halt on it. I mean, the opinion that came from the AG was that that was incorrect. But even her office has a specific provision giving her a deputy. It was not in the elected Attorney General bill for an unclassified deputy. In fact, it was out of the Attorney General's office, and especially between myself and Elizabeth, that this whole thing came out, because she fired an attorney in 1995, and I agreed with her that you could fire attorneys, and it went up in the Hauser decision, and we paid a huge amount of money, almost $5 million in back pay.
I recall.
Yep, and but she seemed to have forgotten that when she wrote the opinion that you can have one head of the agency that didn't need to have a deputy, and I keep pointing out that other places, England and other places, managed to have transition to government with the highest civil servant taking over the department until the new secretary is named.
Yeah, well, try to do it the hardest way possible, or in some cases it might be the dumbest way possible, but it was convenient for somebody else. 20 after 9. So we look back at 2018. If you want to take a look at the documentation, you'll find it at guamopa.org on the web is where you'll be able to find that, and a few of the other recent audits that the Office of Public Accountability has done. Tell me do you have any thoughts? Are you able to take a look at real-time numbers or close to real-time numbers at the OPA to determine how well this administration is doing based on what the revenue expectations were, what they actually are in the CRERs, and what how we're spending based on that?
Yes, a couple of members of the staff here have AS400 access, but we can just see it in moment in time, and we can't really say anything because there is a process by which all of this is done, and it takes forever. I mean, this audit just got out today, yesterday. I wanted this audit out in April. I kept trying to force all the departments to finish by March. Because OPEB, it was pushed back, and I said, okay, we can get it in April. So then I was hoping that the GovGuam audit would be done in May, but then we had problem children like GMH and GORA and GDOE that their audit just came out in the last week. So, and consequently, the GovGuam-wide audit couldn't be completed until after those three agencies were completed. So I'm trying to get everybody to understand that now that we don't have any big GASB rules to have to address in the next year, that I expect that next year that all the smaller audits should be done by the end of March, and the GovGuam audit should be out by the end of April or the first week in May. There's no need for it to wait until June the 25th or 26th.
Yeah, we'll just keep banging on those guys because, like I said, it's interesting to see what those numbers are. But they're in the rearview mirror now. Beach is the thing, and so I'm wondering, how is this administration doing? I appreciate the fact that you've got access to the numbers, but it's almost a no comment answer because it's not part of an audit process that you'd be basing the comments on.
Yeah, and I can't. I mean, I look at the CRER and I can see where certain agencies are holding the line and look like they'll be able to make it to the end of the fiscal year, and I can see that some won't be able to make it to the end of the fiscal year. But They seem to be collecting a little more than we had anticipated in the budget, which I'm glad that they are. But the spending is still. We'll see. I mean, the tax refunds haven't been paid out, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a possibility. We got a measure in the House that Mike is looking at right now that could put the brunt of the payment obligation for EITC here on Guam back on the federal government, back in the U.S. Treasury, as opposed to ours. That will be helpful if it manages to pass.
Oh, it would be a godsend.
$60 million, rounding up to $60 million of extra revenue that we'd be able to spend.
Yeah, then we'd be able to talk about what you keep hoping for.
What was it that I was hoping for? Did I get rid of the god-awful, butt-ugly chain-link fence?
No, the reduction in the BPT.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. You and I are going to agree and disagree on that forever and ever. I think there's more that can be done in the government, and I worry that even with as much money that is coming in, I got $1 billion budget all the time, we still can't keep the parks clean, and I don't know what it is that they are expressing as a win in the criminal justice system, where we got plea deals going out for rapists. I'm going, what the heck? Just somebody get me to a guilty plea as quickly as I can, and then the judge is going to go and either suspend a sentence or release him completely. I don't know, I'm kind of disgusted by that whole system.
No comment. But no, there are other things that we can do. I mean, I know I haven't gotten much traction on my suggestion that the cigarette tax be collected up front, and obviating the need for hiring more people up at Rev and Tax. There's no way you can get enough people up at Rev and Tax to be able to keep all of the taxes that they have to collect.
No, and I think what Daphne was able to get
to. It would seem to me, as the Post put it, and I thank Kevin for his initial article and then getting the editorial board to support the idea. But just collecting it up front, and then we don't have to worry about it. They can get their claw back by keeping track of how much it is that they send off island or to the military, and then they can get a credit or repaid.
Yeah, well,
we get withholding taxes, and we all manage to survive. I mean, can you imagine if everybody was just on the honor system and we could file our taxes just with what we think we're going to file on April the 15th?
Yeah.
How many people you would need up at Rev and Tax?
One or two, huh?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well,
2 million. Yeah.
Just to slow. Well, of course, they could use the automation technology up there as well.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, they really need to be brought into the 21st century.
Yeah, them and Guam Memorial Hospital. More has got to be done with that. Hey, listen, we got to get together soon. We got to have a beer summit one of these days, all right?
Okay.
All right, buddy. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
As BJ Cruz, not a problem. BJ Cruz, the public auditor of Guam, and every once in a while a rollicking conversation. That wasn't one of them. It was just just a couple of guys talking about stuff happening in the government of Guam and kind of scratching our heads on where we're supposed to be. I respect the idea that he did not. Yeah, I know, Jess. I respect the idea that he did not want to jump in on a criticism or critique of the spend of this new administration. 6 months in, almost into our 7th month of the Leon Guerrero Tenorio administration, and how are we doing on the spend? Is, well, we can look at the numbers. I can see the numbers. I can get AS400 access. I can see what those things are, but it'd be irresponsible for the public auditor to come out and say in either breath, say that the administration is spending money like drunk sailors, or the administration is being true to their form and managing our hard-earned tax dollars correctly, because it is not the subject of some kind of an audit, and I don't generally get the CRERs on a regular basis, and frankly, even if I did, I don't know that I've got the brain power to be able to understand what it is that I'm looking at, and which numbers are the ones that are pertinent to how are we doing vis-a-vis our expectations on revenue, and how are we doing on the spend. It just is what it is. 9:28 in the morning. morning. We'll call that iConnect time. Swing by the nearest iConnect or call them. You may call them if you wish. 888-8888 is their telephone number. This is the easy way to remember it. Just pick up your phone and press 8. Until somebody answers. That's the way to do it. That's the way all telephone systems have worked since the beginning of time, even the rollers. But call them and ask them about great plans and features that they've got for you and your telecom needs. And iConnect.
We know too well the inconvenience of not having power after a storm. You worry about food in the freezer going bad. Nights get hot. It's hard finding comfort when going to sleep. These are realities. But with solar and battery storage from Micronesia Renewable Energy, these realities can be a thing of the past. The solar works during the day and the batteries power your home at night. Call 632-2613 to see how solar plus battery storage can make life a little more convenient. MRE, the smarter choice.
The Ray Gibson Show is also brought to you by my friends over at Wendy's. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, dessert. You know what they've got, though? They've got these this made-to-crave menu. I've been telling you recently about the made-to-crave menu for burgers. Well, they've got one for chicken sandwiches as well. Barbecue chicken sandwich. They've got the sauce and bacon chicken sandwich. But this is the one that I want you to head to the place for lunch today. Avocado BLT. Avocado BLT. Somebody's getting on a plane tomorrow, and I can tell. It is. Anyway, so check it out at Wendy's. They gotcha. Click.
Have you ever made a big mistake in your job or career, or with investing, for example? I mean, a really big mistake. How much was that mistake worth? I'm Jerry Roberts, and at 7:20 a.m. on The Ray Gibson Show, we'll pursue big mistakes and their price tags.
You can find daily transcripts of The Extra Point at GuamTraining.com. Tune in every weekday morning at 7:20 for The Extra Point with Jerry Roberts, brought to you by Guahan Insurance Services and First Hawaiian Bank on 93.3 The Point.
Yeah! What's that song? It's Nate Dogg, what's his name? Regulators, mount up. How about this one? Carpetbaggers, mount up. Yeah, that's what the theme for the program today is, carpetbaggers. And that is reminiscent of a line that the governor used while tap dancing in front of a room full of angry activists. She had told them that she's in favor of the military buildup, you see. She said, what's this, China? North Korea, for heaven's sakes. We need to be here as a front line of defense for the United States of America. And the fact that we are also a target of China and the North Koreans from time to time and their missile desires. It's nice to have the military here with their THAAD missile systems, the steel umbrella over the island of Guam to protect us from the Norks and their missiles. Nice to have HC-25 around here. Let me just riff on why it's awesome to have these guys here. So when people go missing out in the boondocks, or when somebody needs to be pulled off of a reef alive or dead, as Dwayne says, who are you going to call? Well, it's nice to have these neighbors here. You get, there's no greater force for good, I think, than somebody in a uniform of the Armed Services of the United States of America. So I'm delighted that they are our neighbors in this community, and I exhibit some kind of a bias, having been a descendant of somebody that wore a uniform in 1898. Yes,
that's why we're your station for carpetbaggers.
That's
swagger.
right. So Lou says, Gov Lou says, I support the military buildup, but I support it for the national security reasons. That's her big deal. As far as the economics are concerned, she said she did not believe the economics and job creation narrative behind the buildup was all that great, characterizing the off-island companies that take advantage of military contracts as carpetbaggers. I don't know if it's possible that there could have been anything more divisive said at that. It could have come and just, those Howley carpetbaggers. That would have made it that much
nice.
more.
Yeah,
if you're going to make it that much, why'd you stop at carpetbaggers? Huh? Just if you're going to go all the way. And so that's where we are, and that has got to be making people bristle all over the eye. I know guys, local businesses with contracts that they've got with some of these companies that are helping provide for their livelihood, their taxes, their salaries for their people. So this carpetbagger thing, it was, you know what, they when we first started talking about the military buildup, that was what the fearmongers were saying. All of the fearmongers coming out of the woodwork saying, oh my God, we're getting all these companies from the States, and they're going to come out here and they're going to take advantage of these small mom and pop, just kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Backwards hick business people out here in the territory of Guam. You know what? For the most part, I don't think it worked out like that. For the most part, I think a lot of these companies came out here looking for businesses with whom they could partner, with people that they could do business with. And between the two of us, my business, your business, here's a little check mark on the FAR. You might be a big company out in Interahan, Illinois. What? You use the phone, Shirag. But you get these guys, and they come out to Guam and they say, I want to work with Mike, because Mike's got a company here, woman-owned, Vietnam-era veteran, and hub-zone business is check. And all of a sudden, the opportunities for both companies increased to do business with Uncle Fed. So that was what they were trying to scare everybody back in 2004, 2005 about. And I don't know that that has happened with any great frequency. I'm sure there might be a couple of companies out there that have taken advantage of us. I can think of one literally almost across the street from us who comes out here and does great business and takes a lot of money out of the pockets of wallets of the locals and the visitors, and does very little by way of support in the community. And you know who I'm talking about. So it just saying. There's a whole bunch of other people that the finger ought to be pointing back at in this particular case. So if there's to be indignation on that statement, I think it will come out to be well deserved. Especially this part where she says, "We see this. They don't register their businesses with us. We don't collect the taxes because we don't know." Well, that's your fault. That's not their fault. Look, people don't want to pay taxes, and they'll find a way to get out from under it. But at the end of the day, it's your job to go and enforce the laws, tax collections, business registration, all of those kinds of things. I'm just saying, carpetbaggers. Anyway, so you got that. Is there more to the conversation that I wanted to get into? No, I leave it at that. There are going to be a lot of people, I think, that will look at that. There are other things that are happening. Hey, another company coming to Guam. Wow, I wonder if they've registered their business. I wonder if they're out here to rape us over with the military. The new restaurant that's going to be opening up. Have you seen it? It's on the front page of the PDN. Because the PDN wants to get as much money out of Red Lobster as possible down the road. So they've got a front page news story here featuring a picture of the Red Lobster. So these guys come into town, and I'm going to be very nice about it because I'm delighted that there was a Red Lobster. When I would go visit my dad, my sainted father in the United States when he was still alive, that was one of the places where we'd love to hear about Red Lobster food. About every other time we'd go, it was a Red Lobster place. I'm delighted that Red Lobster is going to be here. I am told that there is going to be one of those, right? I'm told there's going to be one of those soft openings that they're inviting me to. So I'll let you know how it goes. 888. Maybe Senator Tina Rosemunia Barnes will be there as well. Good morning, Senator.
Manana Shizuis, Brother Ray. How you doing?
I'm righteously indignated at the idea that there's a lot of businesses out here pressing their flesh and investing their hard-earned resources in the military buildup, and they've been called carpetbaggers by our governor.
Oh, I'm sorry I didn't hear that.
It's in the front page of the Guam Daily Post. I
was with Mom last night, Ray, and then I had to take my grandson this morning, so I didn't have the time to read the paper this morning because I've been on a couple of radio stations.
Already? Oh, is it? Well, you get people responding to the 150 new Gov Guam employees? I haven't brought that up yet.
Well, this is based on looking at what has been going on since the 2012 roadmap adjustments with the SCIS, and based on what the Guam buildup with the administration, talking to Senator Carlota Leon Guerrero and her team and the team up there with Vera and those guys. There was talks about having over 150 employees needed to help assist in the facilitation of the buildup. And if I'm not mistaken, I said more than 150, but if the clarification from Senator Carlota I think I heard her say 185 possible employees. So,
Now, what is it exactly they're supposed to be doing?
Different assessments based on what is needed from the educational component, from the health component, from the SHPO's component to the fire and from labor. So the total assessment that was needed based on the SCIS to support the facilitation of the buildup, based on the report, was looking at 184, which is 185 through the year 2021. And then when everything is leveled off and implemented, then they would be looking for a support staff of maybe 66 employees around that area. And again, these are numbers, and every day things changes. When data is recovered, when things are new findings come up, then things need to be revisited. So, based on just listening to what was said by the administration, I wanted to see how fast we can move in getting the support of the for this facilitation moving forward. And there is a breakdown that was given to the administration in July of 2016.
Well, never mind all of that. Can we afford it?
You know what? If we're looking, if we as a government can afford it, or what it's going to need for the military to help with us in the facilitation for having to go through the government processes and working with the agencies that need to facilitate this successful build-up. That's the bigger picture, Ray.
Well, the bigger picture is we don't have enough cops on the streets. We need to get more cops, and we need more people over at the Department of Corrections. We need more bus drivers. We need more teachers. But I'm sitting around thinking we're going to bring in 150 do-nothings, nose pickers.
Yeah. No, Ray. If I can tell you, based on the assessment that I'm looking at, GPD's request at the time the assessment was done was they were needing more than 19 police officers. For the fire department was looking at over 9. The Department of Corrections was looking at 11 to 12. Guam GYA was looking for support employees. Believe it or not, I'm surprised. The Parks and Rec was looking at only 1.8, and then when I looked at the SHPO, it was 0.06. And
those numbers are those fantasy numbers. The Guam Police Department needs on the order of 200 more police officers out there.
Yes, and again, that is why when we get numbers that are written in black and white, and we get projections that are new. This is a new administration. We're getting a lot of the information. Sometimes we need to regroup, bring the players to the table, see what we need to do, and bring everybody. And I think, Ray, you know that I've been really successful in facilitating bringing a lot of people to the same table. And that is why I sent a letter, a request for a meeting regarding the military buildup to the governor. And I was just told this morning from my staff that they just called and that my staff, Stephanie, said that meeting is confirmed for Friday at 11.
Can the media be there?
I don't know. This is the request that the governor said based on my request. So
Well, apparently last week there was a meeting, and the media was if they were there, they got kicked out, or they weren't invited, or something along those lines. Those numbers are kind of squirrely here, so I'd really ponder that 100 and.
You know what, Ray, which is really important, and you and I have some concern in reference to the numbers that are being floated, and I think it's really important as this commitment was made through our former leaders within the administration and working closely with the military civilian task force. I know Senator Leon Guerrero was a part of that, and I know that she has a lot of knowledge. I think that we really should revisit these numbers, because for you and me, based on working with the military and the support that needs to be provided to our government, not us providing the services all the way around. It is for them to assist with us in making sure the government entities have the support staff to work this build up moving forward. I think the numbers need to be revisited, because I think a lot of it is too low. You said yourself, based on this build up and what's going to happen with our population, we are going to need lots more.
Oh yeah. We're going to need more cops and fire guys, and we're going to need more people at public health. We're going to need more people at mental health, and we've already got issues where we got crazy people, drug crazy people walking around all the time. There's more work that needs to be done. So figure out let's figure out what those numbers are, but let's also look at what the priorities are here in this community today.
And Ray, just because you brought up behavioral health, based on that, when this assessment was done, they were only looking for additional 5 members to the Guam Behavioral Health Office. And then when everything gets leveled up and the island is in ready state, they were only going to bring it down to 1. And I personally believe that the director of behavioral health will be overwhelmed with the work that she's trying to do. And I just praise that she continues to go and step and think outside the box to see how much more federal funds that she can get to refurbish, rebuild, revitalize the programs that behavioral health has right now. Because you and I know that there are a lot of social issues that need to be taken care of, and it has fell on the wayside, and we need to bring it up to the forefront. So as passionate as I get by that, I look at the numbers, and I have the numbers in front of me. I'll be glad to send it to you, because I'm really shocked.
No, do me a favor. There's one other thing you might be able to help me do as Speaker of the Legislature. And normally I roll my eyes when Joe S. introduces things, but he introduced a measure to stand your ground. So can you do me a favor? That bill has been out since February, and it has not yet had a public hearing. So if you could nudge somebody over on rules or someplace and see if we can get that measure a public hearing finally, because frankly my concerns are the criminal justice system here on Guam is failing us. We've got the cops that are out there pulling people over, they're doing arrests, but once these guys get anywhere near the courthouses, they're out on felony releases, they commit more crimes. We've got criminal sexual conduct cases all over the place. I got a rapist here in a newspaper that's got some kind of a plea deal. I'm trying to figure out what he did to deserve the privilege of a plea deal in the government of Guam. So we've got some serious problems, and as far as I'm concerned, it's every man for himself around here. So we've got to stand up some laws that will give me some degree of fairness and justice, like the Stand Your Ground measure will.
Ray, you said that Senator San Augustin's bill was introduced when?
February.
I'm pretty sure it was referred. I will look at the oversight chair. I will send an official letter. I will also make a personal phone call and get back to you right away.
You the man. I'll talk to you pretty soon, Tina. Love you and your mom and Donna.
Thank you.
All right.
God bless.
All right. That's that. 888-255-888-TA. Okay, so we can talk to each other like that because we've known each other since kindergarten. Anyway. So there we go. I agree with what she's saying. I believe working together we will make a difference. Romeo Carlos online says, I, for one, would like to know how the workforce needs were determined, using what human resource metrics to establish workflow, productivity, and labor output so as to determine so early the number of 180 people. From what I recall, Carlotta Leon Guerrero is neither an experienced human resources analyst or particularly known for her management prowess. Same goes for Tina. Aye, tough crowd here on the Facebook Live. 888-8255. You want to call in and see what we got. Instead of wanting to hire 150 more employees, put it at behavioral health and other places like GPD and combat the drug epidemic on our island. Yes, Ted. Yes. Yes, that's it's the whole theme of the show these days is how we've managed to be in a place so soon after the last election where it seems that people have forgotten what their election promises were and certainly don't seem, because they'll pretend when they're running for office to, sit at the same side of the table, the fiesta table as you. But once it seems like the inauguration is done and the hands are raised and the pledges are all taken, it's all of a sudden it's like they're strangers. They don't seem to understand what the big concerns are in this community. And it's not the trees and the artifacts over at the firing range. I grant that there are people that need to be concerned about that, and they are. And they are getting your attention, which is a good thing. But the rest of us, protect the culture, protect the environment after you protect me from the guys with the machete, after you protect me from the guy with the sling spear at Payless, where all of this stuff happened. It was and just a few weeks prior to that, wasn't there a woman from her? She'd been in the store, was walking to her car at Payless, and was jumped by some guy. How many home invasions have we had? How many CSC cases are we hearing about? Every once in a while, you just kind of look over at somebody and step off your line, as it were. If you're walking in that direction, you see a couple of guys coming your way, and they don't have they don't look like they've got it all together in their head, or maybe they've had a little bit too much of something in their head, and you kind of step off the line and wander kind of on the other direction. Those are priorities, if you ask me. And all of the stuff that they're talking about over at the legislature, and bills that they're hearing and bills that they're introducing, the balloons. I get it. I'm touchy-feely about the environment. I love sticking my toes in the sand and looking at the beach and wondering what kind of wonderful sea creatures there are in the ocean and what they would taste like if they were cooked up with just a little bit of garlic and onions and some soy sauce and maybe a little spritz of lemon, huh? That's good. And does it mean they taste worse if they eat a balloon? Now, I get it. There's room there for some degree of alarm, but in the face of everything else that we're dealing with, and I talk about on the radio every day, I just don't think they live in the same place as we do. 10 away from the top of the hour. Be right back.
Business travel just got easier. Take your data plan with you for only $10 a day to all 17 Data-to-Go destinations. Never worry about additional data roaming charges when you go where your business needs you. The US, China, Thailand, and so much more. Have the assurance you need to check emails, surf the web, and stay connected. Call 688-2677 today to make sure your account is Data-to-Go ready. Docomo Pacific. Better together.
Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959, and they'll continue to be there for you in the years to come. Whether you're looking to get a personal loan for that summer vacation or paying off those long overdue bills, Family Finance has got you covered. Apply for a personal loan from $1,000 up to $3,600 by calling Family Finance in Agutya at 475-4545, Upper Tumon at 647-5626, or in Dededo, 633-4473. Family Finance, serving the people of Guam since 1959.
Man, use my angry voice. Man, it's the end of the show, and there's still more to talk about. This is one of those days I could do another hour. Just riff on the word carpetbagger, right? Cousin Ted actually sent the definition of a carpetbagger, and now this might surprise you, considering the claim made by Lulian Guerrero, the governor of Guam, former president of the Bank of Guam. That all of these Alpha Island businesses are carpetbaggers, and I looked it up on the web. Do you know that carpetbagger is a derogatory term? It is. in the history of the United States, carpetbagger was a derogatory term applied by former Confederates to any person from the northern United States who came to the southern states after the American Civil War. They were perceived as exploiting the local populace. The term broadly included both individuals who sought to promote Republican politics. And those individuals who saw business and political opportunities because of the chaotic state of the local economies following the war. So it's a derogatory term, and somebody calls you and your businesses carpetbaggers. They're not using it in the nicest way possible. 9:52, my buddy Carl's there.
Hey, good morning, Ray. As usual, trying to call in at the last minute.
That's okay. Well, you know what? The only other there are a bunch of other stuff I could talk about, and the one thing that I wanted to talk about, but I don't know if I'd be able to get a hold of anybody that could answer the questions the right way and give me some room for some discussion. Is why the hell are all the power bills going up these days? I get it. It's summer. The air conditioner's working a little bit harder. I'm probably home a little bit more. The kids are home a little bit more. But the people are complaining about really high power bills these days.
True.
Yeah.
I have to go back and reread that article in the Daily Post because I thought someone else said that comment about carpetbaggers. I thought it was from one of the separatist group that said that. I didn't realize. Governor Liu said it, but anyway, I'll go back and double check.
There's two Leon. Actually, there's three Leon Guerreros on the front page of the Guam Daily Post. There's Carlotta Leon Guerrero, Governor Liu Leon Guerrero, and Victoria Lola Leon Guerrero. So it just says Leon Guerrero said she did not believe the economics and job creation narrative behind the buildup was that great.
I thought that was Lola that said that. I thought it was one of the groups wanting to separate from the U.S. But, I'm not sure. I got to go back and double check. But, the irony is, Ray, that we have actually cleared thousands of acres of jungle over the course of decades for small and large projects, anywhere from houses to massive projects, and there's been zero protests. And the difference with this particular acreage is that it's a military project. And that the military, the reason why America is even here is because of wanting to maintain a military presence as a counter to the Chinese, especially these days, but also any other aggressors that might want to enter the Pacific, as the Chinese are now doing.
Yeah, Kevin had that story. I don't know if you heard it, but apparently they've got an aircraft carrier that was lurking around Guam. He said in the newscast a little bit ago.
Yeah, if anyone wants to, doubts this and really would like to learn a lot more, I learned a lot at a YouTube channel called China Uncensored, and it has hundreds of short videos, and the talking head there is actually entertaining because he does it in somewhat a sarcastic way. But he talks about the behind-the-scenes aggression of China against their own people, particularly Tibet and eastern Turkestan, now changed to Xinjiang. And, just case after case after case of how massively oppressive this Chinese Communist Party has been. China.
Oh, did you see what they were doing? Have you seen what was going on in Hong Kong just recently?
Yes, yeah, the protests.
Mm-hmm. No. To use the word protest there is a complete and total misnomer. That word is not strong enough or powerful enough to convey the sense. You need to look at the pictures of the video of the swarms of people. I mean, that came out just crowding the streets in an attempt to maintain at least a little bit of a semblance of status quo against a resurgent and aggressive communist party in Hong Kong.
Yeah, 2 million out of a population of 7 million. I did see some of the videos because these people know they are very conscious of what has happened through the Chinese Communist Party. Tiananmen Square, what the Chinese Communist Party has renamed the warm and fuzzy term, the June incident. That the estimates range anywhere from 10,000 slaughtered to many tens of thousands, and we'll never know because the Chinese Communist Party has tried to gloss over that and cover that up.
Well, do you remember watching that live? I remember watching the thing live, and when they finally kicked out the CNN, when they finally stopped the feed for CNN, I knew that it was going to be curtains for everybody that was down there. I mean, I said, this is the Communist Party. They're doing exactly what they would normally do in a situation like this. Just shut off the feeds, isolate the news, and isolate the cameras, and start killing people.
Yes, and something that gets closer to home is that I also learned about on China Uncensored is that this what they call the One Belt, One Road initiative, which is over $1 trillion they've allocated to going into various poor countries and weighing them down with massive debts. And when the countries can't pay these massive debts, they use this leverage in order to get 100-year leases on strategic properties. So yeah, they're really hard at work. They have been in a multi-pronged unconventional war against the United States for over 2 decades, maybe closer to 3 decades. So we can't live in fantasy land. This is in very, very dangerous territory.
That's fact. Fact. Hey, dude, I gotta go because it's already.
Ray, I appreciate it. Always enjoy your show. Keep it up.
Okay, I will. That's my plan. I got stuff I gotta take care of, and not a whole lot of time in order to take care of it. Do I have time? Might have a minute. I have 1 minute for John. John.
Hey, let's call it for what it is. They ain't carpetbaggers, they're howlies.
See, that's what I said. I can't imagine a more divisive statement coming out of that group. I mean, just call them howly carpetbaggers. Go ahead.
Yeah, howlies. That's what we call them. Anyways, hey, let's not get anything wrong about America. Why they're here? They're here for their own interest. Because if they didn't have any interest here in Guam, Guam would be nothing right now, Ray. Okay, so it goes both ways. They're here for their interest, and we're here for our own interest too.
But there's always supposed to be places where we have a harmony of interest. John, we got to keep looking.
The U.S. will not be here and doing all this stuff. It's for their own interest. And if Guam wasn't in their interest, then they wouldn't even be here. So we have to make sure that we get our fair share and we have our spot at the table and all those fine things that come with the U.S. of A.
I got you. John, I got to break away. I got the news. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks for calling in. I do appreciate it. Radio station is KUSG, Hagania, the exaggeration station. My name is Ray, and coming up next is Fox News Live. I'm going to go fix stuff.
The war of words escalating. I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. President Trump and Iran's supreme leader trade insults a day after a new round of sanctions against Tehran go into effect.
A war of words between Iran and the U.S. as President Hassan Rouhani said the White House is afflicted by mental retardation. On Twitter, President Trump called that a very ignorant and insulting statement. National Security Advisor John Bolton, traveling in Israel, had this message for Iran.
They should give up their pursuit of the